Good morning, everybody. Antonio here. All right. Well, let's do a quick sound check. Thank you for joining me this morning. Hopefully, you got your coffee. I'm getting my coffee right here. Shout out to a friend of mine out in Atlanta. And he'll probably join us a little bit later. I don't know if he'll join live. Maybe Jamie or Jane, if you guys are watching, feel free to send him a link. Jamie, you got his email. Just send it to him, the link. But no, let's see. Who do we got out there? I'm looking, I see Will Powell out there. So good to see you, Will. Mohan, Salih, Alex, Shalan, Jakub, Sasaki, Dustin. Who else? Dipyan, Mohan, Dustin, Planet Cube. Good to see you. Lopez, good to see you. Armando, Jason, BGD, Tanmay, Seth, always great to see you. SJ Rains, powerful words. You got some powerful words for me this morning, man. Gaiki, Circa, and let me see who else is out there. I know I'm wearing this jacket for a good friend of mine. He's got one just like it, and he wanted to. Let me see, Joseph, you out there, man? Got my jacket on for you. So shout out to Joseph Pratt. Always a big fan of Real Men, Real Style, and a big supporter. Ryan Johnson, Pinto, good to see you. Ryan Noy, Ben, good to see you, man. So, guys, let me know where you're in the chat. Let's get this chat out of control. But seriously, if you got some questions, we're going to try to catch it there in the chat. I think there's a little bit of echo. Hopefully, you guys aren't hearing any echo. I've got 3 cameras set up. Doing this myself this morning. So I'm going to be jumping from point to point. And I know you guys are here because you're interested about my collections. I think a lot of you guys are interested in my gun collection. Some of you very much interested in my fragrance collection. You've seen a lot of that on the channel. And I know so many of you guys ask about the books that are sitting behind me whenever I'm doing videos a lot of times. So I'll be able to get into some of those books and reveal a lot of the books. Now, am I going to be able to get to 300 fragrances? My entire gun collection? No, of course not, because there's a lot there. I've got probably, I don't know, 400 or 500 books floating around this office, and probably, I was just realizing I have a whole lot of stuff at the house. So my collection here is incomplete. Sorry, I don't keep it all in one place. When it comes to my guns, I've got guns, just usually in quite a few rooms. So they're all in biometric safes. I've got kids, and I've got, my son is actually, it's something I've enjoyed recently, going out shooting with him. He's 16 years old, and we've just been focusing on weapon safety. For me, just to throw it out there, I really enjoy the aspect of the discipline it takes to be able to accurately fire a weapon and consistently put a round in on target. Anyone that's ever shot competitively knows how difficult that is, because you got to take wind, you got to take all these other things that go into it. You're from literally your breathing. And for me, it's one of those things that I've always enjoyed this ever since I was a young man. And it's been fun getting back into this hobby. So if anyone's curious about that, you guys are asking, let's see some good questions, talking about winter perfumes. And funny enough, I am not wearing a fragrance right now. Showered, cleaned up. So I will go ahead and choose a fragrance today. And I'll tell you why I'm going to choose that fragrance as we're going through. But let's start this off with something fun. So have you guys seen the new Armoress coins? These are brand new. I've got the old ones are different. And so doesn't look like it's focusing super well on that. And there's no way you can probably read this. Let's see. Let's see if I can get a little bit closer. Try to focus in. Oh, these webcams just don't do it. So I'll tell you the saying here is, character cannot be developed in ease and quiet. Only through experience of trial and suffering can the soul be strengthened, vision cleared, ambition inspired, and success achieved. Honor, courage, and commitment. So those are, but I'm going to be giving away quite a few of these. In fact, look at this right here. So your chances of winning one are actually, I think, pretty darn good. Now, how to go about doing that? Well, kind of making this up on the fly. Let's see who can identify. I'm gonna go through, and we're gonna see. Have a little bit of fun. Any of you guys weapon experts? I'm gonna give you a quick. Let me see who's out there. Joseph Pratt, I want to get you one because you're wearing hopefully your David jacket, or your George jacket, right? So make sure to reach out to me, Joseph Pratt. Would love to get you a coin, first off, for being a big supporter. Seth, I think I need to get you a coin because you've always, SJ Reigns, you've always been a big supporter. See how I know a lot of you guys by, know your name. See, awesome George out there. Antonio, who else? Thomas, Manuel, Tom, Normal, Tan May, thank you. Appreciate it, man. Italy, good morning. Got mine. Now you bring out it. Let's see. What else do we got? Thank you, Antonio, for all that you do. Greetings from Switzerland. Dario, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, the old coin, by the way, and I've still got some of these left as well. A little bit different right here, as you can see. Old versus new. The new one is going to be more of a matte finish, and it's got a different saying on the back. So old, new. A lot of you guys, I've sent this out over the last few months, and I decided to have some new ones made. And the saying here, it's become the man you know yourself to be. And on this one, it's a bit different. All right. So let's think, how can we win some of these coins? Let's see who can identify this weapon right here. Let's see who's the first one to put it in. Does anyone know what this is? I know, and I'll give you a hint. It's not a Glock. It looks like a Glock. And you'll notice all of my weapons, I've already gone through, I've done safety checks on all of my weapons because I don't want to flag the internet. I don't want to accidentally shoot you. I know you're worried about that. But this one, as you can see, this is the one, my office gun, the one I keep right next here. So if anyone shows up unannounced and you are threatening me or my family, I've got my light on it, so it doesn't matter whether day or night. Let's see who can guess what this is. I've talked about it before. It is a specialty company out of Texas that makes these. So another hint there. And it's a 9mm, in case you don't know. It uses Glock magazines. So it is basically, some of you guys would call it Gucci Glock, but I like to think it's just a Glock with better parts. I see a lot of you guys popping in there. Yes, I agree. It is sexy. No, not a Desert Eagle, not a Colt 45. Let's see. I do love CZ, and I have one. I'll talk about that here in a few minutes. I've got multiple stations set up, and I'm going to talk about some fragrances, books, and guns. Guns, fragrances, and books. Guns, fragrances, and books. So I got 3 sections planned here. And my coffee. Can anyone know who this is? Does anyone know Aaron Marino's middle name? There's a question for you. No, it's not an AK-47 Glock. Love your videos. Let's see. Can anyone guess it? Boomstick. No, Denim recently bought the most Anson belt collection, although they had stuff off the journey. Thomas, I'll give you a coin for that. Buying Anson belt and buckle and supporting my sponsors. You bet I'll do that. Why not? Let's go ahead and a coin out to Thomas. So Thomas, to get and to claim your coins, what you need to do, guys, this is important, is we're going to lose all this chat. That's just the way YouTube works. You got to email me at, Antonio@realmenrealstyle.com and send 2 things. Email me at Antonio@realmenrealstyle.com, or more importantly, use my contact form at realmenrealstyle and just send me your info. And we are sending these coins. But guys, I've got, like I said, I've got quite a few of these coins, and I want to get them out to you. Now, really quick, while we're doing this broadcast, as long as this video is up, I've got a really good deal for you over at Sheath. If you guys haven't seen, they're one of my sponsors. I talk about them all the time. Founded by a veteran, great company. Robert was totally cool. He loved the fact that I was going to talk about my weapon cache, all my books and fragrances, and he just wanted to be a part of this. So he came in, sponsored today's video. It's a buy one, get one free. You've got to add 2 to your cart, and then you get 1 free at checkout. Guys, I'm not going to show you. I am wearing Sheath. Pretty much the only underwear I wear nowadays because of the durability. And the use of micromodal and that they have a pouch for your package. If you haven't seen Sheath, please let me know. Is anyone out there wearing Sheath underwear? If you can, okay, I'm not going to ask for proof, but if you are wearing Sheath underwear, let me know. What model are you wearing? Is anyone out there wearing Sheath underwear? Let me know what model of Sheath underwear. And the first 3 people to let me know in the comments are going to get a coin. Boom. We've already given away 5 coins right now. Joseph Pratt, our friend over in Germany, and 3 of you guys that are wearing Sheath underwear or own Sheath underwear or can quickly change into your Sheath underwear. I'm not looking, man. Run, grab your Sheath underwear, but I need to know in the comments what specific style you are wearing. All right, that's key because and at realstyle.com, enter that contact form, and I'll get you out a coin. And if for some reason you do not want a coin, that's cool. But the most important thing is sending me an email at our contact form, and we will confirm how you, Yep, CZ is my home country, Czechoslovakia, right? Or no, Czech Republic. Gosh, I know I'm bad. Your family is good, everybody. Definitely a rocket launcher. Has anyone out there? Does anyone guess what this is? It's not a Glock, very similar to a Glock. This is a Shadow Systems 918 Combat. So company out of Texas, really like what they're doing. For me, it's simply the functionality of the weapon. That's what I want. And what I look for in all my weapons is functionality. Not that I expect the world to end, but I like a weapon that shoots accurately, that has great. So what I like is they came with really nice sights. Amazing. I have to admit, this is a dirty weapon right now. I haven't cleaned it for the last couple hundred rounds, and it still executes flawlessly. It uses Glock mags, and I'll explain why that's important a little bit later, because I've got other weapons that also by Shadow Systems, and this is another weapon that is really good. So Jamie, you're gonna oh my goodness, what is this? What are you doing? Oh my God, I didn't expect it. You said, what's up, man?
Hold on, wait a second. I'm hearing 2 of you.
You're hearing 2? I can't hear one of me.
So. There you go.
Good morning, Aaron.
Good morning. I got to tell everybody the story real quick about when you came to visit me. Okay. So you're talking about guns. I got to tell the story. So is everybody there?
Yeah, everyone here. You guys get to hear the gun story from Aaron.
All right. So this is kind of a funny story. It's a really funny story. So Antonio, when he gets into something, he goes like overboard. When he gets into watches, instead of buying like one really nice watch, he goes out and buys like 50 watches. When he gets into fragrances, it's not just like 1 or 2, he buys 150. Well, he has also recently found and developed a new passion for guns. And so he was telling me, he's like, hey, I'm really into guns. And he's showing me all these pictures of these guns. Well, I have a few guns that my wife's brother ended up passing away and leaving us a bunch of his guns. And so I'd never shot them. And so Antonio was planning on coming and visiting. And so he's like, hey, we got to go to the gun range. I got to show you how to use these guns. I'm like, all right, fine. And so we go to this gun range, and Antonio's all excited. And it's this Glock. What kind was it, Antonio? I didn't even know.
I think he had like a Glock. Was it a Glock 19? Just a classic weapon. Very common. Yeah. Just
so we're at the range. We get everything set up. I had never shot this gun. Antonio's never shot this gun. We put the target on the thing. He sends it out, and he's explaining how to do it. And he just goes like this. He holds it up. He shoots one shot, completely dead center through. It was the most perfect shot ever through the number. It was the most perfect shot ever. We both were surprised at how amazing it was. He was so shocked. He's like, okay, I'm done. It doesn't get any better than this. And he hands you the gun.
You know that I was shocked. Okay, so I am a decent shot. I mean, if you guys know my background, I was an officer in the United States Marine Corps. It was something the 9mm Beretta, which I will get to, which I do have, was our numerous weapons like that. And so I'm familiar with weapons. I grew up in Texas on a trailer ranch, and we had horses, we had dogs, we had tons of animals. So my aunt always had rifles and shotguns. So these are things I'm familiar with. But recently, I've just started trying to get a lot more familiar with putting the lead exactly where I want it. And so I have to admit, I was surprised at 20 yards out when I got a straight on bullseye with my first shot of a weapon I've never shot before. That being said, hey, I'm not, I just I didn't say anything. I'm like, and Aaron, that's how you do it? Now
he was as shocked as I was. And the thing is, he had to stop because it was getting like you couldn't get any better. And so for the rest of the time at the range, he was like, here you go, it's you. No, it's all you. So he didn't want to do it again. It was funny.
Your reception's all over the place.
Mine or yours?
I think it's yours. Maybe it's not. Maybe
I think it's yours. Hey, everybody in the comments, whose reception is bad? Mine or Antonio's? Are they telling you?
No, not yet. So I'm giving some shout outs. What is this? Alpha M. You're already donating like, oh wow.
I did.
Aaron's like already set the bar. Not that I needed that. I'll be giving I need actually 100 times that, which you'll be sending me what like
exactly. I'm taking one of Antonio's watch purchases off his hands.
Yes, he's acquiring one of my watches that's a little bit hard to get, and I know you wanted it, so we won't reveal what it is. It'll probably
it's yours, Antonio. It's yours. It's not mine. Brett W, thanks for the heads up.
Heads up.
Maybe Aaron. Wait, it's Antonio's. See, it's you. It's your internet.
All right. Well, hopefully, guys, we continue to go through. It should be relatively. I live in a small town. Connection isn't always the best, and everyone's saying it's mine. Oh, darn it. That's too bad. All right, guys. We'll try to maintain a strong connection. We'll see how things go.
All right. I'm gonna get to work. I'm gonna let you roll. And I just found out, Antonio, both Tracy and I, COVID free. It's yours again.
Yep.
Okay. Later.
Out of here. Okay. So there goes Aaron. Guys, please let me know if we're having a bad connection. I'll try to fix it. I've got, it is what it is. Small town internet. So there's a quick story that you won't hear anywhere else. My shooting story with Aaron Marino. Yes. So, so which Rolex, you guys are asking? 1, 2, 3. That's right. Love the Marine Corps. Ayush shouting out to Alpha M. Just got Rebel Hero and King fragrance. Chris, good job, man. I actually have those fragrances, and I'll talk a little bit about them. They're amazing fragrances, and he's done a really good job. But let's be straight. Like, Aaron is not looking to come out with brand new fragrances. He's taking, DNA that already works, and he's running with it. All right. You like Antonio over Aaron. Well, I like you then, definitely. Antonio, greetings from the Philippines. Justin, good to see you, man. Let's see who else is out there. Okay, so Barish, you're actually paying to get this. So let's see. Okay, if you really want to know which watch brands do you guys actually appreciate besides Rolex? Good question. Great question. And I am wearing a Manta. I've talked about this. I've got their Ocean King. Let me take this thing off. So this is the Manta Ocean King. I've actually featured this, I think, in a recent video, and just beautiful watch. It is Swiss made. It doesn't have the brand name or the legacy, but the guys that put this together, they're out of St. Louis, Missouri, and the packaging, the boxes are just top notch. I wish Rolex would actually give you a better display box versus that ugly green box that they give you that, everyone's like, everyone likes it just simply because it's Rolex. I get it. And I again have 4 Rolexes, and I'm getting rid of one to Marino, and it's actually increased in value. I'm literally selling it to him for more than what I bought it for because it's a steel watch. But it's like one of those things when you try really nice things, you realize, they're good and everything, but you move on. You realize we are not what we own, and you never want to be trapped in products. I'm fortunate because I'm in a business and something you're doing financially. And I do think to buy something as a gift for yourself is always a good thing. But yep. And we started the morning off good, right? It was good to have Aaron there. Nomos is a great value, and undervalued. I don't have any Nomos, but I do know of the brand and I've seen them, just not really my style. Niche or designer fragrances. Genre, that is a trick question. So wow, love the coin thingy. It kind of reminds me of my coin they gave me for completing SF. So I took the idea from the coins from the Marine Corps, from the military, from police. So anyone that's served in these coins that we've been giving away, we've already given away 5 this morning, which by the way, I've got more to give away. And I'll talk about how to do that. Just having fun with you guys being able to identify things that we're going to have in our videos. But these coins are simply, they have no value except for the value that you attribute to them. And that's what I love these. And next up, so the front is, of course, branded with Real Men, Real Style. I had that. But the back, I wanted to have special messages. And I always want to have these so that even if you don't care about me or my brand, you're going to appreciate the message. And for me, honor, courage, commitment. Anyone that served in the United States Navy or the Marine Corps knows those were our core values. Anyone that served in the Army, the Air Force, and I don't care what country you are in, anyone that has served as a police officer, anyone that served as a firefighter. My nephew, is currently fighting these fires out in California. For him, honor, courage, and commitment. Those are what drive. I think so many young men need to hear this. You see people that are getting a lot of, let's take Logan Paul. Nothing against this dude. Like, he works his butt off, and I respect the marketing side, but is he sending the message that we want young men, I think, and even older men to be hearing and to live up to? And I think it's something that a lot of things in our society aren't celebrated. And I want, hey, I've got a small platform, so I want to celebrate. I think helping to create better men, because I got 3 daughters. And I want them, whoever they choose to marry, whatever, I want those people to be, to have these characteristics, to have these traits, because I know just trying to be a good guy. And I admit I have tons of faults. I have messed up a lot. And the idea of being able to give these coins to some of you guys to reward you and to encourage you to become the best man that you know yourself to be. Let's see what's up. Others. What's up, mate? Much love from England. Great set of values. I agree. Seamaster. Thank you. Hey, Rosmus. Good to see you, man. Did you get a coin yet? Because I know that you're one of our moderators, and we've tried to make sure that we've sent out coins to almost all of our moderators. I think you got one. Can you make a video on student style without adding puffer jackets, sports jackets, or long coats? Samita, that sounds like an impossible task. Now, it probably is possible. And I'm going to have to change cameras here because I want to show you guys some more stuff. Yeah, Marine Yell. Sorry, not going to get it this morning, Abraham. I know that everyone wants to hear the Marine Yell. But Jamie, I know you're out there. Can you do me a favor and can you highlight and go through and just put comments in as we're going through? Because I'm going to switch over to another camera. And I'm not going to be able to do this, but I want to give people shout outs. I'm not going to be able to answer too many questions because I'm going to be focused on showing you guys my fragrance and my gun collection and my books. But the next 10 minutes, I'm going to jump over to a next camera. Then I'll come back over here. Sound good? Jamie, you got it? Let me know. And with that being said, let's go. Let me see what's the comment. Oh, we got fans from India. Yes. That's right. I know we got people over. You guys know I've been to India, right? I've spent some time over in Mumbai, went up to Delhi. Then we went over to where else did I go? I loved India. Just was there for almost a month. Great. This is back in 2000, 2005. And of course, I've got Jamie for the win. That's right. And thoughts on Chanel Platinum Egoist. Henry, that fragrance is friggin' awesome. And I'll be showing you. That's one of my top fragrances. EDC, Everyday Carry, what do I take? Okay, let me get into this stuff. So Mission Fragrances. That's right. Let me go to my next camera. That is going to be this one. I'm going to add it to the stream, and I'm going to remove this. All right. Hello. Can you guys hear me? Give me a shout out. Jamie, maybe put some new comments on there, and let's see. I don't know, Jane, if you're able to do it either. If not, I will assume that that we're doing good. So let me know really quick. Can you guys hear me? Using a different setup here, and I want to go through. As you can see, I've got two weapons, two rifles here. Although one of them is more of a it fires 9 mil, so I wouldn't say, some of you guys would say it's not a rifle, but it is a great backpack gun. I also have a 22, which I'll get into here in a second. But let's find a way to give another coin away. So what I would love to do is give a coin to somebody that can pick out. Let's see. Anybody know what fragrance this one is? Want something a little bit hard. This one is relatively popular. A lot of people haven't heard of this. Instant what? What is this? Instant what? Let me know in the comments if anyone knows what this is. It's by Mancera, and it's Instant what? It's a great winter fragrance, by the way. It's been made popular the last, I think, year. Instant what? Can anyone guess what that one is? Another fragrance that is an amazing winter fragrance, and I'll go ahead and give you this one right here, is going to be Spice Bomb Extreme. Now, the regular Spice Bomb, I think, is great as well. Spice Bomb Extreme does last a little bit longer and does have a slightly different, maybe it's a little bit sweeter, at least to my nose, but either one of these are, I mean, Victor Rolf, I don't talk about him as much because I feel everyone else talks about him. And I want to talk about a house that nobody seems to give much love to, but I think is friggin' amazing. And that is Antonio Banderas. And it kind of upsets me because he's got my name and he's the Antonio that pops up before me if you start typing into Google. But yeah, his fragrances are top of the line. Now, give me 30 seconds. I want to make sure that we've got the audio because it looks like we're not getting comments switched out. Stream yard. Okay, so it looks like you guys can hear me. So that is good. Sorry about that. We had to send a quick message because I see that no one is. David DeLuna, you are going to, yeah, you're giving a shout out to my Mission Fragrances. So I appreciate that. So let's talk about this one. You guys have seen this gun before. And this is my Ruger PC9. And it is a really nice weapon. One thing you haven't seen about this, and the reason I purchased this weapon, two reasons. One, it takes Glock mags. So I talked about why Glock mags earlier are important. They're very universal. And this takes basically 9mm, which if you're not familiar, that is usually a handgun round. So I like that it's interchangeable. I have pretty much all of my weapons, all of my handguns are going to be 9mm. And that's because I can stock up on one type of ammunition. I've got thousands and thousands of rounds of it, and I don't have to worry about running out. Now, another thing with the Ruger PC9, and this is really cool, is I can take it. Let me see if I can do this right here. Okay. Press that. Boom. Look at that. So immediately, I've got a backpack gun. And that is really cool because I'm able to put this into a smaller bag if I'm transporting, if the shit hits the fan and I need to be able to move. This is something that I can very quickly put together, and I've got my weapon. And yeah, that's one of the reasons I absolutely love the Ruger PC9. The other one is the Glock Max. Next up, we were talking about CZ. So here is a CZ 455, and this is in 22. So it's a relatively small caliber. Seriously, this is a very small bullet, but this is going to be great for survival. So anyway, and this is going to be their Lux. So it's got really nice iron sights. Iron sights are going to be, right here and then right here. So this is going to be a rifle. So safety off. You can see right there. And it's just a really, really nice gun. Very accurate. So if I wanted to shoot rabbit, squirrel, any type of small game, I'd be able to take them out with this right here. If I've got an issue with a small animal just tearing up one of our gardens or something, I can take out that animal there. Or if I'm hunting for small game. See, the problem with shooting with a big gun, even that 9mm, is that you could actually destroy the animal. So like you want to be able to eat the animal in a survival situation. So that's what's beautiful about a 22. And I know some people, this is not for self-defense. That being said, 22s can be used for self-defense. And anyone that says something different, I invite them to volunteer to be shot by a 22. No, many people die by 22s. These are, very dangerous weapons. That being said, it's great. I live rurally, and so this is great for, if I wanted something for survival. Okay, so getting back to our fragrances, and I did see some of you guys got Instant Crush. So we're going to make sure and choose a winner. I mean, if you know you were the first person to do it, then go ahead and jump over there and let me know. But Jamie, if you're out there, or Jane, if you're watching, if you can, select some comments and throw them in. It looks like that we could do that. Yeah, just select some comments and throw them in. I want people to know that, hey, we're seeing them out there. But let's go over and what are some of the other fragrances? So here's something I do not recommend, thallium fragrances. So I've got a whole bunch of them right here, and I've tested every single fragrance. And for me, these just didn't smell that great. They felt way too watery. Not that I want something overpowering all the time, but they really didn't last. I was disappointed. Initially I thought they had like Coolican bottles. And then I actually got the bottles and they just felt cheap. So FYI, like, I know I don't normally talk bad about things, but there's some that you're just like, come on, that was a gimmick. Another gimmick fragrance that is not worth your money are the 007 fragrances. These James Bond fragrances, they're cheap. They don't last long. They don't smell really much like anything. And they're gimmicky. I bought them all because I thought, I'm like, hey, James Bond fragrances. They are what they are. They're relatively cheap, so that was kind of good. Next up, you guys ask a lot about, so this is Armaf. If you're not familiar with Armaf, these guys make a lot of clone fragrances. I'm not going to say anything bad. These guys are actually one of the better clone houses out there. Hunter, I believe that this is a clone of Sauvage, and it's decent. It's not exactly like Sauvage, and that's the one thing I noticed with all the clone fragrances is they are not exactly like the fragrances they try to be. But if you can't afford the real thing, or let's say like Creed Aventus, we all know hundreds of dollars right there for Creed Aventus. Club de Nuit, CDN Intense by, again, this is Armaf. This one is the most well-known and probably one of their best sellers. It's probably I'd say this is a top 30 selling fragrance in the world, simply because so many people want Creed, but they can't afford the money. That being said, if you own Creed, I'd buy this, because then you could wear this Monday through Thursday or Monday through Friday, and then wear Creed on the weekends, and you can really smell and figure out for yourself. But what else do we have over here? And Jamie, thank you very much. I see that you are Jane, one of my assistants is, and I've got, by the way, I don't know if you guys know this, we've got a team of 9 people that work with me here at Real Men Real Style. And Jamie and Jane have worked with me for years, and they just really help make things happen. But we should have one of you guys that answered Instant Crush. Make sure that you reach out to us over at realmenrealstyle.com, the contact form. And it's an honor code thing. When if you say that you were the first one, we'll make sure to get you something. What else do we have, you guys? So Acquadigios. I've got all of the Acquadigios. And I know some people say that they don't like, I think a lot of, am I missing one? Yeah, we got another one over here. So a lot of people say the Absolute is their least favorite. I have to, I mean, to me, it's like, it is what it is. It's absolutely beautiful. Is that Yuri Yaleko out there? Good to see you, Yuri. Absolute and Absolute Instinct. I'm not going to say that they're my favorites, but they are great. I have no problem with either of these. A little bit stronger, but the Absolute, just beautiful fragrances. I can't say anything bad about them. Profundo, this one I really like. So it's got a little bit more of, I would say, the oceanic smell. This one really feels like you're near the Mediterranean, like you're, I don't know, when I wear this one, I imagine I'm out in Hawaii and I'm in those little pools that like on the lava that basically all these like water pools where there's all this wildlife and you can smell something. Like it's weird, like it's not like you could, and this sounds bad, but a little bit of decay, but in a good, I mean, it just smells, but there's a very fresh oceanic smell. This one is really good that way. And then there's the classic Acquadigio. Nothing wrong with just starting off with this fragrance if you're looking for a good summer scent. But if you can, Profumo, and I've got this special blend here, which Jeremy Fragrance gave me as one of the first fragrances I ever got. This one just has great memories for me. This is an amazing fragrance. If you already have this one and are tired of it, this is slightly different, a little bit stronger, and well worth the money. So what are some more Antonio Banderas fragrances? I'm not going to lie. Blue Seduction. This is a great fragrance. If, go over to Fragrantica and check out, the Antonio Banderas line. I feel bad promoting this because, I'm not getting paid for it. You guys, come on. I always want to make money with these things. But I am going to tell you guys, if you don't have much money and you want a good set, a good line to start with, Antonio Banderas, you're going to get a lot of bang for your buck. And the ladies absolutely love it. I'll tell you a fragrance house to avoid, which I bought a lot of their stuff, and it just didn't, I don't know, it just didn't do anything for me, was Banana Republic. And some people will say, I don't know, I just felt they were all weak. So I bought a whole bunch of them. They're modern. I mean, all these are Banana Republics, and there's probably a few others back here I'm not even going to bother grabbing. And those didn't do anything for me. If you want another great house that is relatively inexpensive and I think has some good stuff, Davidoff. So I've got both the Game and I think it's the Brilliant Game. It's a little bit stronger. Both of these, and you can tell like they look like gaming chips. Awesome fragrances. I love them both. This one right here, a lot of people say, Davidoff Champion. This is a cheaper version of, what is it, Invictus? Paco Rabanne's Invictus. Do I have an Invictus floating around? Not here. I've got one on the other tables. But this one right here is fresh, clean. It's a great gym scent, hence the barbell. And some people think that it's gaudy. It's, this is great fragrance and it's inexpensive. That's another, again, I can't say that enough about Davidoff. Run Wild, decent, good. Horizon, I actually really like Horizon. I own tons of the Cool Waters. I, for some reason, thought that they would smell a lot different. I have to admit, I think they come out with a new Cool Water every year. The only one that's a little bit different for me is Wave. Cool Water Wave, I do feel is different. I can't tell you right off exactly how it's different. Sorry. I've got freaking 300 of these I've been testing. I will tell you, though, that the other ones, like Into the Ocean, and what is this one? This is a special edition as well. And this is the original. No, is that the original? This is the Ocean Extreme. I got another Cool Water over there. Literally, yeah, I bought all these things and I found out I got basically the same thing. So Cool Water, just buy one, and whichever one you find a really good deal on. Some people say Hot Water is not worth the try. I think it is. It's a fine fragrance. Here's the original Cool Water. Found it. So Davidoff. I've also got Adventure, another solid fragrance. Again, a great house. If you want to try a variety of fragrances and stick within, you don't have a whole lot of money, I think Davidoff is just one of the better options out there. They've just got a wide range of fragrances, inexpensive. And if you want to spend a bit more on a Davidoff, I don't see it. I got Amber Blend. Do I have Amber Blend? Maybe I wore it the other day. So Silver Shadow, really nice as well. Yeah, so they got these higher end blends as well. Once you start to own a few Davidoffs, if you say, hey, I really like, let's say Amber. That was the one I was wearing yesterday. Amber Blend, beautiful fragrance. If you, and again, this is where you start to pick up notes. You start to say, hey, I want something that's a little bit, has amber as the main note, but that one also had a little bit of like rum, like smell like candy. It was, or sweet. It was good. And it lasts a long time too. So if you like florals, a little bit with citrus, Icon Racing is a very good fragrance. And if you just want more of the citrus, then the Dunhill's Icon is where it's at. I love these bottles. These things are heavy. Yeah, I mean, you could kill somebody with one of these if you hit them at the right angle. Pretty nice bottles. All right, so talk a little bit about books. All the books I'm talking about mostly today are going to be my style books. And I'm self-taught. I didn't go to school for fashion or style. Everything I picked up. This right here is one of the most inexpensive and better quality books you're going to find out there on men's style. And that is The Indispensable Guide to Classic Men's Clothing. It's by Josh Carlin and Christopher Sullivan. And this, I think, sells for under $10, maybe $2 used if you look around. It's black and white. It's a simple book. If you were to buy this one book and read it, you're ahead of 99.9% of men out there. Very simple, very clean, very, very easy. Now, some of these other books I've got are like Men and Manners. It's decent. I get specific books like this because I'm always trying to get new ideas of videos to come up with, and I'm trying to learn this stuff myself. Got The Modern Gentleman. Again, decent book. Second edition right here by Phineas Mullen. It really, this is a lot of this stuff is geared towards, I think, the guy that's a city boy. So nothing against, I mean, if you're in New York City, if you're in Chicago, if you're over in Mumbai, if you're, in, downtown, I don't know, London or something, these are type of books that I find that they're really good. Richie Freeman, this is more of manners and etiquette. Good guy. He came to my Menfluential one year and just simply talks about modern etiquette. If you are starting your business career off, one of the things, you think it's about what you know, it's not exactly true. There's a lot of politics in large companies. So if you're working for a company with over 50 people, you probably need to read books like this because they teach you how to correctly use email. Believe me, if you mess some stuff up on email, you CC somebody you probably don't need to be, or they get wind of what you say in the email because you think it's private. Yeah, he teaches you how to be careful of that. Now this one, Home Comforts. Why would I read a book like this? Because it teaches you everything you need to know about like doing laundry and dealing with, bed bugs or how to get your whites to actually look white. And here's the funny thing is in these books is so much great knowledge. And what I love doing on my channel is finding little bits here or there that's really good that no one talks about and bringing it to you guys in a much more digestible format. Handmade Shoes for Men. So Laszlo Voss did this book. This guy, I believe he's over in the Czech Republic or maybe Poland, one of the two. This guy is a badass when it comes to making custom shoes. Probably the book out there about shoemaking, if you're ever interested in something like that, Laszlo Voss. Dressing Right. So this is an older book. I think this one came out in the 70s, and a lot of the styles show that. That being said, I love reading these older books because I think there's so much knowledge that doesn't get passed on, and I love picking this stuff up. Color for Men. Here's another. So if you want to if you're like big into color and you understand color theory, I would advise you writing a book on it because Carol Jackson is the last person back in like the early 80s to write a book about men's color. I've put out a few videos on color, and I do think it's something I could talk more about. But the video platform's a little bit difficult on color because, well, let's just say that like you got to color correct your screens and people see different things. Closing the Man by Alan Flusser. This is one of his older books. Again, I buy every book that these guys put out, Alan Flusser, Bernhard Rutzel, because there's so much I've learned from Alan Flusser, the master. This dude was like the original, like one that really made men's style popular in books. So Bernhard Rutzel and his book Gentlemen. I've got every version of this. I've got another version, I think over there, but I've got every version. Usually you can buy these new, I think for like $20, $30. If you want to buy the used version, it's a little bit harder. But that right there is required reading. If you were to work for my company, I would require you to read Gentlemen, because it's just one of those classic books. Now, guys, I can't read all the comments right now because, as you can tell, I'm back here trying to do stuff. But I know that Jamie and Jane are collecting a lot of your questions, and they're building a database. And I'm going to go through and try to answer as many of those questions as I can. And I want to hear, does anyone out there, let me see a book that I'm going to see. Let me see. I want to find a book and see who owns this one. Okay. If you own this book, and I'm going to, let me know in the comments. And you need to tell me what book it is. It is by a guy named Josh Sims. Yep. Who has this book? Does anyone else own this book? If you own this book, let me know in the comments, and you will win a coin. First person. And you're going to have to prove you own the book, by the way. So whenever we email you back and forth, we're going to say, okay, can you like picture? But if you do own this book, I will send you a coin, because this is an awesome book by Josh. Josh Sims is the guy that wrote this book right there. All right. So another book, highly recommended. Not the Rules. I have to admit, this book by Esquire sucked. I just have it there. The Suit. And it's a Machiavelli approach. And this one's about politics, office politics, and Nicholas Antigiani. One of the first books I ever read on men's style. Absolutely love this one. Beautiful. Great, just really well written. A Gentleman Gets Dressed Up. It's not really worth anything. Details. I wish that Details would update this, because this is it's a good book, but man, it's really a little bit too simplistic and a little bit outdated. So I can't really recommend that one. Men and Style. So if you want something a little bit different, this is an interesting book, because it's about a collection of different men and their fathers and their own style stories. I can't say that, definitely this is not the first style book you should buy. But if you already own like 20 style books and you really like them, then this would be a great option for you, because it's written, David Goggins did a good job, Coggins did a great job writing it in a different way. Another fun read, How to Be a Man by Glenn O'Brien. It's got a little bit of comedy. Again, it's from a New York perspective, so you got to take that, take it with a grain of salt, but it's pretty good. We've got Bruce Boyer's True Style, solid book. I think, again, if you want like New England preppy style, this is going to be that. And if you're interested just simply in the suit and everything that goes into the history of a suit, then we've got The Suit from Function and Style by Christopher Brewer. It's a good book. Making the Cut by Richard Anderson. Yeah, another one. I got it. So I don't have all these books memorized, but I have flipped through them, and I usually take some great ideas. And that's, I think, the beauty of good books, is that you just get some ideas and you can run with them. So this is Wristwatch Annual. If you guys are into watches, you probably have a few of these, but I find that these are some of the better books out there, kind of giving me an update. We've got Dressing the Man by Alan Flusser. Classic, probably one of the top 5 books still on men's style. Easily, maybe even the top 3. This guy, Portraits of Modern Men's Style. I think it's a big picture book. Got a lot of nice images. And I know some of you guys, you get tired. You want to see really like good inspiration and style, curated inspiration and style. This is going to be a book for you. It's a nice coffee table book. There's some other great coffee table books I'll show you a little bit later in today's video, but this one right here is solid. All right, so I'm going to jump. That is round 1 pretty much done. I could talk a little bit. Obviously, I didn't get to all these fragrances, and I'm not going to be able to. But and I didn't even get to all these books. But I want to give you guys a taste. I want to give you guys, you guys have asked for it. At the same time, can't be here, can't do a 12 to 14 hour live broadcast. I got something about Cary Grant over here. I've got the Sartorialist, his books. These are all picture books. I didn't think that they were that great. If you're into boutonnieres, I love it. They've got a book, boutonnieres and Cary Grant. I do buy women's style books. So Bradley Bio's The Science of Sexy. This was an excellent book. If you're a stylist, if you're into this industry, highly advise this one right here. It's for women, but a lot of the same lessons can be applied to men. Sneakers, the complete limited edition guide. Not that I know jack about sneakers, but I am trying to learn. And I think that's what's the beauty with a book is you can pick up and you can learn more in one single hour about something. Then, it's just nice when someone organizes things. And all of a sudden, the sneaker industry, for me, was a big mystery. And to get into that. The art of the boots. I'm from Texas. I own Western boots. Love Western boots. So this one has been a good one. A Man and His Watch. Great book. Highly recommended. And The Wristwatch Handbook. Solid coffee table book. Well worth your money. All right. So I know I'm going to get some coffee. And I know you guys have probably got some questions. So I'm going to go answer those. I want to see really quick. I know I missed Opium, Floral, YSL. Just wasn't my thing, but this is a classic fragrance. If you're into florals as a man, all the more power to you. I have to admit, Mugler's Alien Man, I love. A very unique fragrance. To me, if I'm watching Scooby-Doo with my daughters, for some reason, this is the fragrance I would go for. Yeah, I know, strange reference, but my daughters are all about Scooby-Doo right now, my younger ones. Caroline Herrera's 212, really nice. If you like, so the thing with this fragrance is fresh cut grass. If that's you, if you want to smell basically like it's a spring morning and you're cutting your lawn, 9 a.m., this is the fragrance. It's it's absolutely beautiful. Eternity Aqua, or Eternity Air. Good fragrance. Aqua is good too. I never got into Valentino's Umo. Again, a little bit too much floral for me. It's a cool bottle, cool fragrance. Bulgari Black. This one, if you wanted to be a sexy astronaut, this would probably be your fragrance. A sexy astronaut. It's got something with rubber mixed in with like tea. So it's a very unique fragrance, and I think it's discontinued. So a little bit harder to find. Right here, we've got Versace Eros Flame, apple note with rose. Absolutely one of my favorite. I like it more than Eros, to be honest. Eros is cool. Another great clubbing fragrance, strong fragrance, winter fragrance. But this one right here, a little bit more unique. And yeah, just absolutely beautiful. Aqua Pour Homme and Atlantique. These right here, I'm going to say the Atlantique is a little bit saltier, a little bit more oceanic. This one, you still feel like maybe the Mediterranean. This one, you feel like the Pacific Ocean, at least not necessarily the Atlantic. I don't know the Atlantic as well as I know the Pacific. And then Amara, this one, a little bit more metallic. It's nice. This one is more versatile. I think you could wear this also in the fall and the spring, even the winter, if you wanted to. One of my favorite Christmas fragrances, Burberry London. There's just something about this fragrance. I've talked about it before. Great winter fragrance, Burberry London. I've got all my Ralph Lauren's right here, I think. Or I'm missing one of them. Where's the red's floating around somewhere? I think it's over on that other table. Got the green. Nice fougere. If you want something a little bit greeny. I like how they kept it really simple. The blue isn't that blue if you're into blue fragrances. I mean, it's a nice fragrance. The blue one. The black, a lot of people do like this. Anything, going to be black. The red extreme here is sweet, and I do like that. So for me, the red is going to be probably, I'm more of a sweet fragrance guy. So I'll gravitate towards those a bit more. You want something classic with a bit of citrus. Eau Sauvage, classic right here. 1966, Christian Dior. This right here is just classic. Nobody really wears it nowadays, except for, you look back, this was just, when fragrance houses would only come out with a fragrance maybe once every 10 years, this was a go-to fragrance. Now, what, we're getting 5 fragrances a year from every single house. This was a fun fragrance I had, Hello by Lionel Richie. I actually just bought this one on Amazon when I saw it, and I just like it. Warm and sweet. What else? If you want an inexpensive oud, then you need to check out this one in Versace. Versace Oud Noir. They're or Oud Black, basically. Yeah, inexpensive. It's not going to be the strongest oud, but it's relatively inexpensive. So that's one of the reasons I like it. Another really nice spicy fragrance is going to be Hane Mori. This is she's a Japanese designer. She's got 2 of them out there. This is going to be the spicier one, and I've got both the EDP and the EDT. I notice no difference. Maybe in my mind, the EDP lasts a little bit longer. They look the same. To me, they smell the same, but they're so cheap. It's fun, and they're nice bottles. I actually think if you wanted to stand out, you want a nice winter, summer fragrance, you only want to own 2 fragrances. Having both Hane Mori's, they're the spicy one, and this is him. And then they've got the other one, which I'll bring. You see the other one? I don't. It's probably on another table. Oh, found it in Invictus. I was talking about this earlier. So Paco Rabanne's Invictus, great summer, great. Obviously, it's a trophy. Davidoff didn't get too much creative, so it's like you could have both of these and they'd be similar, but one, for lifting, the other one for celebrating. I don't know. Yeah. As you guys can tell, I need more coffee. Let's go over it. We're going to jump. Oh, see, I can't leave. If you're into Boys to Portugal, you want or Lalique pour Homme. So Lalique pour Homme, absolutely love this one. If you want to smell like you're interested in like a really manly scent from like 1980s, 1990s, this is going to be yours, and it's relatively inexpensive for what you get. And a lot of people compare that to Bois de Portugal, which is a very expensive Creed fragrance, hard to find, and I'd have to say it's close. All right, you guys ready? I'll switch cameras. All right, so hopefully everything is good. I see Cincinnati, Ohio out there. Will Powell, a lot of you guys, and Shane, keep let's throw one of you guys up there. I see Swiss Arabian Shagaf Oud is good. I've never tried that one. Ooh, CK1 Shock is a great. I've got CK1 Shock over there, so highly recommended as well. Who else do we got out there? Shane Law, totally agree. Terre de Mez. I have Terre de Mez as well. Let's see. Highly suggest try Arabian. You guys are giving me some good suggestions. Luke Keller saw actually Antonio suggested I was wondering, should I go for shoe brands like Ace Mark or should I go more expensive? I would try Ace. I like Ace Marks. Good company. Make sure, find a discount code. I think we've got some from out there. Hello from Austria, The Departed. Good to see you. John Varvatos Oud. Yes, that is a good one as well. I think it's a little bit pricey though for what you get, but if you find it on the cheap. Terre de Mez, you better believe Terre de Mez is out there. Polo Green is good. I agree, Will Powell. Let's see. What do I think about Calvin? I have not tried Calvin Klein Truth. Damn, autocorrect. Have you ever tried Mansera? I haven't tried Hindu Kush. That's on my list. I need to just go get it. Ralph Lauren Safari is good, much like the older gentleman. I need to try that one. Fox, that is an interesting avatar you have there. That's from Wildcrats, right? See, I know this. I've got kids, man. My daughters love Wildcrats. That's Zach, isn't it? Zach and his robots. All right. What else? What are the shoe brands Antonio? Oh, see, we're not covering so much in shoes today. What's the first fragrance that you owned? The first fragrance that I truly owned? Probably Stetson as a kid, had that given to me. So what is SOTD? Scent of the day. All right. So let's answer a few questions. You guys have been putting these questions in. Is the best part of waking up really Folgers in your cup? Manuel Soto is asking. I actually occasionally do use Folgers coffee. My wife, though, she likes the Starbucks stuff. And I feel if I'm using a, not drip, if I'm using a French press, I get excellent coffee from Folgers. So I have no issue. I am not a coffee snob, although I do like my coffee a little bit sweet and with a little bit of Moloko. So for all my Russians and Ukrainians out there and Belarusians, you guys know Moloko milk. I'll put some of that in there. But so Perfumes de Marley Greenlee, I do not have that one. Let's go over. I'm going to look through some of the questions. Oh my goodness, 4 pages of questions already. So Benjamin Mayberg's asking, what's the watch that you're giving to Alpha M? I'm giving him a Rolex Submariner, no date, steel. And that one I bought for $8,500 and now it's selling for $10,500. And I'm giving him a much better deal than that because he's my friend. And honestly, I have not worn the watch very often. I always go to my Yacht Master, and I'm trying to like get rid of a lot of stuff in my office. Just simply, I've got too much, and so I've been sending out packages. I've been trying to it's. But Clay Casana is asking, do you smoke cigars or pipes? I do not at this moment. Antonio, what are your top 5 Creed fragrances? Good question. I probably need to make a video of that, Henry. But I do have about I'll go through my Creed fragrances. I've got 1, 2, 3. I've got like 12 of them, 14 of them. I don't know how many like over there. I don't have any of the really super high ones. The basic ones that have been out for a while that I can usually buy myself at discounters. Heiko Herweyer, Antonio, do you choose every day? Yes, I do. And sometimes I'm trying to choose 2 a day. And the reason being is that I've got so many, I'm testing them. And my theory now is if I'm getting like I got Dreamwood, Dusk Dawn. I've got all of his fragrances right here. But I actually bought all of his fragrances too. So I'm still waiting for the full bottles. And I've actually already gone through all of the samples that he sent me. Jeremy fragrance, he sends me, I've got Date, I've got Office. But those are the small bottles I happen to have right here. I've got the big bottles over there. I love his stuff, and I'll be straight up. I know Jeremy gets a lot of hate, but when it comes down to it, the fragrances, I think are good. My favorite Tuxedo is really good. Office, I think is fine. Date is good. Better in my opinion than Office, but then again, Office is a clean, like non-abrasive scent. Unisex, I actually found better than Date. So it's like, man, they keep getting better because Unisex was the 3rd one I got, and then Tuxedo was the 4th from Jeremy. And I have to say, Tuxedo is my favorite. Antonio, I'm breaking up. Sorry about that. Am I back? Hopefully. Let me see. We got 300 of you guys out there. All right, so let's switch over to another screen. Let me see. You guys ready? We'll go do another one. We got some fresh coffee. And we're going to go over. Am I back? How's the connection, guys? Let me know before I switch. Okay, I'll leave the video up for a little while. Samid, don't worry. I'll take care of you. All right. Good morning. Now, guys, don't forget over at Sheath, I've got a really good deal for you. The buy one, get one free Sheath underwear. And let's turn this. Can you guys see this right here? All right, I'm gonna have to get down a little bit, but that's just the way we're gonna work, right? Okay, we'll do it this way. So this one is gonna be a lot more about fragrances and guns. Books, I'm gonna hit more at the end, but this is round 2. So if you missed round 1, you can rewind. We've already been, I think, well into an hour in today's, we've been at this for over an hour. And so let's talk. I think some of you guys are going to be very interested with the weapons I've got up front, and the fragrances. I put the ones here. These are a lot of niche fragrances from other YouTubers and the stuff I have that I've bought or I've had sent to me. And then all of my Creeds, Parfum de Marly, Chanel, and these are some of the more expensive fragrances I've got here. So this is going to be the premium juicy spot, right? So how many Creeds do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 16 Creeds. I've got 16 Creeds here, and Aventus Cologne. This is the newest Creed I have. If you're familiar with Aventus, so Aventus Cologne is a lighter version of Aventus. If you want something that's more crowd pleasing than Aventus, this is going to be your go-to fragrance. Aventus needs no introduction. This is considered to be one of the king of fragrances over the last decade, and has really made a name for itself. Original Vetiver, an amazing fragrance. If you want something clean during the summer that isn't in grass, that's a go-to. Green Irish Tweed. This is a classic, 1986 or something. I know, maybe I got the year wrong. Somebody could correct me in the comments. Jamie, if you can go ahead and select a comment and bring them up, because I don't see any right there. Jamie or James, I always like seeing your guys' comments. And oh, boom, look at that right there. So Green Irish Tweed. Erolfa. One of my favorites for the summer. So Erolfa. Does anyone know the story with the name? If anyone knows the story of the Erolfa name, which I do, let's just say EROL and FA, let me know in the comments. And the first person to do that gets a coin. Because I love family stories. Hint, hint. And this one right here, just a really nice citrus. Viking. So if you like Old Spice, you're going to like Viking. Himalaya. A great year-round, more metallic fragrance. Tabron Milsime. So this one doesn't get much love, and I know I probably just killed the whole Milsime, but I do that because, you know, my French people, I need to keep you on your toes. So this one right here, what I really like about this one is that it's got this story with Winston Churchill. I doubt he actually wore this, but I love the idea. Like if I were smoking cigars, this would be my go-to cigar smoking fragrance. Next up, we've got Royal Oud, and this should probably be called Royal Wood because it's got more wood than oud. But if you're ever wanting to try oud, this is going to be a very soft, really nice one. Royal Mayfair, this is probably one of the more least liked. I think it's fine. Some people think it smells like mothballs. I'm not a big fan of it, but it is more, I think, floral and yeah, has a little bit of a, I don't know, it's like a Victorian, I don't know, some English Victorian dude would smell like. Royal Water, that maybe an English Victorian royal who's clean. That's what they would smell like. So original Santal. So I don't like Jupe. It's just something about way too sweet, way too, but I like this one. If you like sandalwood and you like, this is a good one. If you are into sandalwood, this is a good one. So if you want something creamy and you want something clean, then Milsime Imperial is going to be your go-to fragrance for a Creed. If you want a citrus and you don't care that it disappears within 2 hours, Neroli Sauvage is going to be your go-to fragrance. This one, really nice. Again, the problem with Creed for most people is it's outside of your price range. And I mean, it's outside of my price range if I didn't own a business and I couldn't write this stuff off. And in the back of my mind, justify that someday I'm going to send out samples, you know, and just give them away or something like that. Yes, that's what I tell myself when I look at that credit card. So Virgin Island water. If you like coconut, you like something clean, this is going to be great if you're on a Caribbean island. And then we have Silver Mountain water. A lot of people who want to look cool say that this is better than Creed Aventus, and it's their go-to fragrance. I think it's good. I wouldn't say it's better than Creed Aventus, but yeah, Silver Mountain water. So, Parfums de Marly. These guys, believe it or not, even though they put 1743 on there, they've only been around for 10 years. And these guys have done a really good marketing job. So, right here, we've got, what is this one? Pegasus. It's a good fragrance. I'm not going to say, you know, it is what it is. Herod is really good. I'll put this in my top 3 of Parfums de Marly. What is this one? Yeah, this is. They don't have the name on the bottom. I feel bad. I'm not. Does anyone? What's the green one? Is it called like barley or something? Uh, I can't remember the green one. I didn't think it was that great, so that's why I went through it pretty quick. Um, Carlisle, number one, right here. This thing is a masterpiece. Okay, so you don't see me get too excited. Like this would be like I'm going to wear this fragrance because I'm not wearing anything right now, and I'll tell you why I'm going to wear this one because it's just. Oh yeah. Mm. This thing is friggin' amazing. I have a lot of fragrances. This is usually in my top 3 of all fragrances. And the first time I smelled this, see, I'm addicted to it. I'm just going to keep spraying myself, which is overkill because, oh my God, it smells good. I can eat this stuff. I'm not going to pull a Jeremy fragrance and start spraying it in my mouth, which, explains a lot. No, we love Jeremy. But yes, it's good. If you want something lighter, you're going to definitely check out the. If they would put the names, I would look so much smarter and cooler, but they don't. So decent, the white one, Sedley. I did remember that, and see when I remember the name, they put it on the bottom. Sedley is nice. It's clean. I'm not gonna, not gonna go crazy for it. Leighton, I would put Leighton as number 4. I like Leighton. It's a really nice one. Now Godolphin, I'm gonna put this in my top 3. Godolphin. No, it didn't have the name, but I still got it because Godolphin. This is if you want something, I think a little bit leathery. This is really wearable as well. So right here we've got maybe is this one subtly? I don't. In any case, one of their the blue here, not really my thing, and probably my least favorite is going to be Calon. I don't know, just it smelled like rotten oranges to me. Not my thing. That being said, I'll probably revisit it. And you guys ask, why do I wear? I'll wear 2 fragrances a day, shower, clean up, get everything off, and then try it again. Because I'm really trying to understand what other people smell, why they, what they do smell, and how I can learn from it. So now let's talk about guns. So you guys are probably wondering, okay, what are these smaller weapons right here? All right. So this is the SIG P938. This was my first everyday carry. It's a very nice weapon. I like it. Nowadays, it's not my everyday carry, but it is something I still practice with. It's a nice pocket gun. It carries, basically, I got 7-in-1, and it's got different magazines with, different lengths. It is a single stack, and it is a very nice, reliable, hammer-fired weapon. SIG, if you're not familiar with them, 6 Hour. I say it fast because I'm not always sure I'm saying it right, but these guys just make high quality, dependable weapons. Again, this 938, absolutely love it until I end up getting this. So nowadays I carry this P365 SAS. So go ahead and I'll send the bolt home on this one. Nice weapon. Again, small. The problem with these, and anyone that deals with a short barrel, you've got maybe a 3.5-inch barrel right here. So from this point to this point, we don't have much room. The farther distance you have between those, in general, the more accurate you're going to be able to get an acquisition on your target. So this one, I can just be off by a couple degrees, and I will miss the target once it goes out past 15, 20 meters. But most engagements for a concealed carry, if you're trying to protect yourself, are going to happen within a space of about 5 meters. So this one right here is very similar in size, but big difference. This one carries a lot more rounds. I can carry 10 rounds in this versus 7 in this other one. So I get 3 additional rounds. It's not any real difference in weight. Also, this one right here is going to be striker fired. But the cool thing about this one, notice there's no sights. And that's because I've got this green like iridium dot, like that is just awesome. A lot of people don't like this gun. I get it. And there's other 365s out there that, and the 365 XL, awesome. The 365, P365 regular, I'll buy one of those 2 whenever they're made available. But this one right here, I find that I've trained with it and I can very quickly and very accurately, consistently hit a small area in just a matter of seconds. And, and that's what I'm looking for in my everyday carry type of gun. So this thing, it's safe. It's just a beautiful gun. So very happy with this one right here. Now, so let's get back over to fragrances. Speaking of happy with fragrances, I don't own a whole lot of these, but I have to say the 2 Killian fragrances I absolutely love. So I've got Apple Brandy, and this was a special release out of New York. It's an expensive fragrance, I'm not gonna lie. For 50 mil, I paid 300 freaking bucks for this stuff. I mean, this stuff is like liquid gold, but it's just really unique. If you like brand, so I don't drink anymore. So for me to be able to have this great smelling that just makes me want to drink an apple brandy, and that's exactly what I might as well buy a bottle of apple brandy and just like drip it on myself, I guess. But this stuff is beautiful. Hard to explain. The name says everything, but when it comes to gourmands, I'd say Killian is killing it. Black Phantom, another fragrance, just absolutely am in love with. And this one, if you want chocolate caramel coffee, this is the fragrance. It lasts a good amount of time. The apple brandy doesn't last as long as this one does. This one spoiled me with how long it lasts. And if you look around, you can maybe find this one at discounters, but still you're going to spend, over $200 getting this one right here. Chanel. So Chanel fragrances are interesting because they're very difficult to find at discounters. So you're oftentimes going to have to pay full price. Although there are ways, if you look around, that you can maybe buy a gift code and then be able to use that at some place. But I bought a lot of these because I'm a collector and I'm talking about this stuff. And I knew when my first 100 fragrances, really there were no Chanels because I couldn't find them at the discounters. But then I got them all. So I got all the Bleu de Chanels. And thank you, Henry. Appreciate that you love this channel. Jane, if we can change out comments a bit more, I'll try. Maybe I can answer a few questions because I can actually read them right here. So Bleu de Chanel, this is the original. How do you compare it to Sauvage perfume and to Fahrenheit? Sauvage and Fahrenheit. I've got them over here. Sauvage and where's my Fahrenheit? I got Fahrenheit somewhere. It's hiding. But I love Fahrenheit. Fahrenheit's freaking awesome. Sauvage and Broxenbaum. I mean, it's cool, but it's one of the most well-known fragrances on the planet, and that's my only knock with it, is you're going to smell like a lot of other guys. Bleu de Chanel, again, is relatively popular. This is probably a top 10 to 15 selling fragrance. And it really, in 2010, approximately, when it came out, it changed the industry. It launched all the blue fragrances. The idea, and again, it's a lighter, the EDP versus the EDT. So if you're just getting into this, I'd buy the EDT. Not much of a difference between that and EDP. The EDP does last a little bit longer and is a bit smoother. And that's what they ended up doing, even with the Parfum. This is just a bit smoother. It's a bit creamier, great fragrance. I'm not going to say anything bad about it. Now with the Sauvage, you guys were asking about this. So I've got all the Sauvages here as well. And now, Jamie or Jane, whenever you guys are adding the comments, all you have to do is just press on them and just throw them in there, and I'll try to respond to them as much as you can. So, or again, just add them in there because I always like to see comments on there. You guys want to see yourselves in the video, right? So, Urban Gentry is saying that he loves Fahrenheit, and Sauvage is a close second. I agree, good ones. So we got the EDT right here. And have heard of Aramis. I had in the wilds. Okay, almost like a Paul Sebastian. Yeah, Aramis and Paul Sebastian. Really quick. I know. Got Paul Sebastian right here. Very good fragrance, inexpensive, well worth your money. If this is like a classic, throw on cologne. And Aramis. Where am I getting them? Oh, boom, right there. Found my Aramis as well. So both great fragrances. And so somebody's asking an impossible question. You're asking me, which one is my favorite? I mean, that's like saying, which one of your kids is your favorite? Man, it's like, I can't give you an answer there. It depends on how you feel. That's the interesting thing about fragrances. It's like guns. So the warrior poet, it's literally, it's like my guns, man. Like if I'm out and I'm in survival mode and you're living out in the woods, I want a hunting rifle, something that I can bring down game with, and for the right size game. Because if I'm in, again, if I'm out in Wyoming trying to bring something down, I've got to hit a target at 400 meters at least because they can see me coming. Versus I'm in the Wisconsin woods, I'm going to be hunting small game, maybe occasionally deer, but probably doing a lot of squirrel hunting and rabbits and things like that. So you got to have the right tool for the job. And it's the same thing with fragrances. Like this is not like, to me, day-to-day office wear. I like Sauvage, but it's an Embrox and Bomb, and it's like going to a party. Versus if I'm going, I want something that's a bit more versatile. I would go with the Bleu de Chanel, or if I want to stand out, I would go with one of the Allures. So Allure Homme doesn't get much play. This is classic, solid fragrance right here. Homme Sport and Homme Sport Eau Extreme. All of them great. So what's the difference between these? Going to be a little bit more citrus, creamier. They don't have the blue. They don't have the, I would say they don't have the same mystery. These are fresher, cleaner fragrances. I've also got the cologne, which you can sometimes pick up at discounters, the Sport. This one's just going to be fresher, cleaner. So if you want something to wear to the gym, literally. And somebody asked earlier about Egoist. So I've got both Egoist. I've got Egoist Classic, and this came out, I believe, in the 80s. And then Egoist Platinum, which came out maybe 7 years later, something like that. And I don't actually, good question, I don't have a lot of Acqua di Parma fragrances. I admit I've got samples, but I don't own a whole lot of their fragrances. It's literally, I go from house to house, and I'm maybe when I get up to 5 fragrances, I'll have a bunch of them. So Platinum Egoist, I think is an amazing fragrance. You want an everyday smell, Nicholas? I would check out Egoist. If you're a man in your 30s or 40s, Egoist. If you're in your 20s, check out the Platinum Egoist. It's a little bit softer. Now, if you're a guy and you know that you don't care what other people think and you want to smell like a friggin' stud, Antaeus. I said it right, Antaeus. So if you don't know who Antaeus was, he wrestled Hercules and he got his strength from the earth. And Hercules and him were at a standpoint. Neither one would win. They were wrestling to the death. And what Hercules did to Antaeus is he lifted him up off the ground. All of a sudden, he lost his connection with Mother Earth, and Hercules was basically able to crush him to death. But still, if you want to smell like a manly man who's just come off the wrestling mat, and you're just like, yeah, I smell good, like sex, yeah, Antaeus. So you want something that's going to last a long time, and you're not afraid to smell like chocolate cookies, Crypto Mint. Chocolate chip mint cookies, or if you just want, what do we got? We got pure malt there. Yeah, pure malt. Very nice. The original Amen is amazing as well if you like chocolate. Gourmand fragrances are what those are called. Now, when it comes to Dior, there, look at that right there. Okay, Fahrenheit was hidden. If you want to smell like you're mowing the lawn, you got a little bit of gasoline on you with fresh cut cut grass. That's Fahrenheit. Higher. This one discontinued as well. One of my favorites. If you like a pear scent, light, you don't want citrus, but you want a nice summer scent. It's gonna be clean. Higher by Dior. This one doesn't get a lot of love, and I think both of these by Caroline Herrera are amazing fragrances. I don't know why she doesn't get that much love. These fragrances are amazing. So, Privé, and then we've got Bad Boy. Bad Boy. It's kind of a stupid bottle. I don't really like the bottle because it's not easy to use functionally. I mean, it looks cool, like it's a lightning bolt. But if you want something that's a bit chocolatey, cocoa, this one right here. If you want something that's sweet and boozy, this one right here. And if that's not your thing, you're like, hey, I want something really light that I could wear as an athlete. Check out Lacoste 1212 White. This one right here. One of the freshest, clean, one of my top 3 summer scents. And then right here, this one, Intense. Decent. I like this one a bit more though. And the best thing about this, incredibly cheap, $25 at a discounter. All right. So another house that you guys have probably heard us talk about is, I think Bentley. Man, I've got 5 of them. And they just came out with a new one. But if you want an relatively inexpensive house and to try some summer or some boozy fragrances, grab their Azure, their blue. This is a fine summer fragrance. And if you want, is it the Intense that I want to recommend? The Intense for Men is good. I'd say it's better than just the For Men is decent, but the Intense for Men I think is better, and then the Absolute is even better than that. Let me see. All right. So YSL, I can never pronounce that French. How do you pronounce it? Yeah, Yav Saint. Yeah, I'm just not going to pronounce it. YSL. That's my nickname for him. So La Nuit de Homme, this one gets a lot of love. Top 15 fragrance out there, I'd say. If you like something a little bit sweet, the only thing is longevity. I'm not a huge fan of the Intense. It's decent, but a little bit too floral for me. I do love Y the Parfum is much, or the EDP is much better than just the EDT. You're wearing Bad Boy Gareth. It's nice, but no standout. Well, Gareth, I like it a lot. Maybe you just need to add more. Like, I don't know. I get a little bit heavy with the fragrances sometimes. Again, I'm wearing them for myself and I'm not going anywhere. And I just like smelling good in my office. And Bad Boy for me, I wear it the other night, and my wife, she liked it so much, she asked me to get up and go do the dishes. I mean, what, not seriously. She didn't ask me to go do dishes. We did something else. But yeah, so Guerlain. If you like vetiver fragrances, Guerlain vetiver can be solid. And then let's talk about L'Homme Ideal. So all these are Guerlain fragrances. These one right here, I like them. If you like an almond note, if you like cherry, these are going to be the ones. So almond, this one doesn't get a lot of love. I love it. It's really light. It's got this one right here. Is this the EDP? No, this is the EDT, and then the EDP. This one right here, a little bit of it's cherry with almond. It's just a really unique fragrance. And Guerlain, I know, doesn't get a lot of love over in the States. So if you want something a little bit different, go for that. Now, so I wore Prada Intense the other day. I have to say, I think Jeremy's talked about this too. I know that Steven over at Redolescence really likes this one. For me, I'm going to go with the classic. This was just cleaner. This one, I don't know. It's interesting, but just not my cup of tea. So if you're going to look at the Pradas, definitely start with the classic Prada, when it comes to the Homme. Thanks. Hey, appreciate that, Ivanash. Always good to see you guys out there. Now, when it comes to Coach, 2 main options out there. Go with the classic Coach. This one right here the sprayer kind of sucks. It doesn't do that best job, but the classic Coach Platinum is okay. I'd say this one's a lot better. What's the best compliment? I'm looking for, hold on. So I've got Paco Rabanne Privé, 1 million Privé. I've literally, besides my wife, I've had women track me down in the store and ask me what I'm wearing. And I think it's a little bit with the tobacco, with that cinnamon. It's just a really nice, sweet wearing fragrance. I was wearing a sweater, wintertime. And I was like, because I don't, I don't get out much. I know. I live in the small town and I put these videos out there. I travel occasionally. I've had Creativentus. I've had women on airplanes, though, that worked for the airlines actually say I smell wonderful. I had one woman get very close and tell me I smell wonderful. That was interesting. But that was before the whole pandemic. Well, I like your videos as they provide up-to-date info regarding the current fashion sense. Good job. Well, thanks. I don't know if I'm up-to-date on fashion, but I do try to, give you guys some good, solid info. So when it comes to Jean-Paul Gaultier, so I've got a few right here. A lot of people say that they don't really like Le Bleu. What is this one? Yeah, Le Bleu. I think this one's fine. It's not my favorite, but after that is going to be Le Male, the classic. So this one is the easiest one to find. Yep, I'll get to that in a second. I'll get to Aaron's fragrances here in a minute, Hassan. And then this one right here, we got Ultramall. Very good. I know that's one of a lot of guys out there that absolutely love this, but the Parfum, this one is my favorite. A little bit sweeter, lasts longer, and I just really like the bottle. So we're getting questions about Aaron Marino's fragrances, and I'm going to talk about some of the YouTuber fragrances here in a second. I'd love to hear from you guys, though. What do you... I've got a lot of these YouTuber fragrances, and my idea here is to do a beat down, like to have it so that I could compare them all and really get into this. So I've got all... Okay, but before I get into these fragrances here, let's talk a little bit more about weapons, right? Let's jump subjects. So this is my newest acquisition. And does anyone recognize this weapon? What movie was this in? You get a coin if you can guess which movie this gun was recently in. And I will tell you that if you are a Marvel fan, you may have spotted it. And the character that wielded this, personally, is one of my favorite characters. I remember seeing this guy in the comics. I just thought he was always just like a badass. So this is the Walther Q5 Match. This is a heavy gun, and that's on purpose. This is not an everyday carry. This is a competition shooting gun. So it's the Q5 Match SF, which is the steel frame. And the steel frame here, the idea is that you can pull it up, aim, and boom, pull it, and it's not going to have much kickback because it's a very heavy gun. And it simply has, you notice I was talking on these smaller weapons. Notice this point to that aiming point. You've got almost probably 50%, if not 65% more distance. So what that's going to do is at 25 meters, when I go to my range, I'm able to consistently hit bullseye. Not within a 1 inch, but I can probably get I would say a 3-inch group at 25 meters. And I'm not that great, but I'm pretty happy with that. I'm like, wow, this gun makes you look good. And it's simply because of the structure. So has anyone guessed so far what movie this is in? Anyone out there? What movie and what character used what's the character? Can anyone guess? Yep, but the Q5 Match. So it also, I can take it off and put a red dot on there if I really wanted to. It's just beautiful. So it's cut in a way that it helps to, just flow really smooth. It's nice. 15 rounds. Beautiful. Look at that thing. Absolutely beautiful. Anyone guess? I'm going to give it away here in a second. Oh, not John Wick. That's not Marvel. Who's guessing John Wick? It is Indiana Jones. No, we're talking Deadpool is the movie, but it was not the Deadpool character. Nicholas, you are so close. And it was not Deadpool 1. It was not Black Panther. He starts with a C, not Hawkeye. Starts with a letter C. Come on, somebody. Spider-Man Far From Home. Not Nick Fury, not Ian Fleming. Starts with the letter C. Black Widow, Winter Soldier. Nope. Come on. Starts with the letter C. Cable. There you go. Mark G got it. Cable. All right. So here's the other weapon I want to show you. This is the M92 Beretta. And is anyone familiar with, so in the United States Marine Corps, and it's funny, Aaron said earlier today that I just got into guns. No, I carried this around for 5 years. And so I'm very familiar with, not this one. The military did not let me keep my guns. They actually made me give them back. So I had an M9 in the military. This is the M92, which is basically same thing, except it's the civilian version of this. And there's a few, it's slightly different, on the handles here. But this is a just classic, beautiful weapon. And the reason I bought this is fun. I just wanted to remember my time in the Marine Corps. And if anyone has ever fired a 9mm, I know some of you guys, military guys, anyone out there ever fire a 9mm Beretta? This is just one of the smoothest. It's heavy, but it's accurate and it's reliable.
And the only bad thing about this is when you first fire this, it's got the hammer back there, so it is going to be something that I was in the Marine Corps, Nicholas, and the first time when you go through this thing, you put it off safety. I've already cleared it, so obviously you got to cock this back and boom, and then after that, after it fires, then it will be cocked back, and it's a. Do I own a 1911? I do not own a 1911. I don't really have any history with the 1911, so I think it's a fine weapon, but just not something I. So let's get back into fragrances. We talk about the Armani Code series. If you're looking for a line, you like sweet fragrances, you want to check out Armani Code. So we got the original Armani Code solid fragrance. The Profumo, if I like this better than the Armani Code. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. So Colonia is decent. I'm not going to say I'm totally in love with Colonia. It's to me the least favorite of all the codes. The Armani Code Absolute Gold, this one is solid. It's not that sweet though, and it's not as strong as, in my opinion, my favorite, which is Armani Code Absolute. This one right here, and I'm very happy I got a 200 ml bottle because I love this stuff. I wear this night and day. This is probably one of my top 10 fragrances. And Armani Code Absolute, this one right here, just amazing fragrance. Highly recommended. Armani Code A-List. Decent. I guess it's like, where does this fit? And why would I wear this as much? It's decent, but I'm not gonna. This one with Colonia are gonna be my least favorites. So put those back. But does anyone out there love the code? Anyone out there? Anyone out there love the code? What's my favorite fragrance bottle? Oh, that's a good question. I'll think about that. I'll tell you, I mean, right off the top, I already talked about, like, I love Dunhill. I just love it. I mean, sticking with weapon, it feels like a grenade. Like, I like it. I have to admit, like, even though it's the least practical, the Bulgari Black, I like this one, and simply because the rubber and the tire make sense with the smell of the fragrance. And these are really kind of, like, a lot of people, I get it, they think they're kind of campy, but the Skull and Roses, the Ed Hardy line, he does a pretty good job, and his fragrances are relatively cheap. That's another line that I recommend if you want to start off cheap. Stuff like that's kind of funny. All right, so let's start talking about other YouTubers and their fragrances. King, Rebel, and Hero. Great fragrances here, guys. Now, if you don't know, Rebel is inspired by Creed, Aventus. Hero is inspired by Acquadigio. And then King is inspired by Green Irish Tweed. So amazing fragrances right here. For church or a family setting, what am I going to recommend? Well, I would recommend, I think King, this would be a great church. This would be a great church fragrance. It's really nice. I wouldn't wear any of the boozy fragrances here. Speaking of this one right here, this is one of my favorite. This one reminds me of when I was a kid going to Catholic church. Zaharov, and maybe it's the frankincense, the myrrh. This one right here, it's a little bit spicy. It's an Oriental fragrance, but Zaharov George is a good friend of mine. This signature, this is amazing, amazing fragrance. Let's go. So I talked about Zahara. I've talked about who else? Talked about Aaron's fragrances. So let's talk about Mr. Smelly. Dan, I've got his Gravitas Pour Homme. What I like that Dan did with this thing is that he didn't copy everyone else is doing very safe fragrances. He did a fragrance that is very old school, masculine, strong. There's plenty of reviews out there, so I'm not going to get super deep in on this, but I would say that I think he did an excellent job at this. And if you're looking for a YouTuber fragrance that isn't going to smell like another YouTuber fragrance, this is a good one. Now, let's talk about YouTuber fragrances that nobody talks about, and that's going to be Beard Brand, because he doesn't really make a big hype about this. But if you want a fragrance that isn't overpowering, Maybe again, Temple Smoke would be great for church, by the way, if that's what you're looking for. Four Vices, I wouldn't wear this one to church because it's got a little bit of a marijuana smell and alcohol, and money. And then we've got Old Money, which is just it's a little bit hard to describe, but again, all of his stuff is not going to be in your face overpowering. Now, speaking of, and let's be honest, in your face marketing, we've got Jeremy. Jeremy has put out, in my opinion, and he's the guy that really blazed the path on a lot of this stuff. I've got Office One, the original that came out. I was a big supporter of Jeremy early on, and I still am a supporter of Jeremy. Love what he's doing. But Office for me, of all of them, is probably my least favorite, just because it's good. And Alberto Marias did a good job with this one. It's fresh, it's clean. I have no issue with this one. It's just not to me, the least memorable of all of them. After that, I'm going to say Date. Date is another great. This one, if you like Ultramo, Date is very similar. Now after that, we got Unisex, and I'm going to say Unisex is not as unisex as I thought it was going to be. It's sweeter. It does remind me of Date, but it's a better twist on it. And I like Unisex over Date. When it comes to Black Tie, this is my favorite. I've probably worn this now 3 times since he sent it to me, and it's probably my favorite fragrance right now from the entire collection. I would say that this is Black Tie could possibly make my top 15, my top 20 fragrances of all time. So it is really that good. And so that one's. So what's going on with my fragrances? They're coming along. I talk a little bit about that maybe at the end of the video, but let's just say that I'm really particular about getting the right formulation with my fragrances, and I had to send them back. So it's not coming along as fast as I would like because they're having to reformulate the fragrances. But my fragrances, to be honest, there's going to be nothing really unique about the smell. What's going to be unique is the way that you interpret the smell. And so I can tell you, and fragrances are very subjective, but what's interesting to me is not how they smell, but how they affect your mindset. And that's what we're working on. And so I'm wanting to make sure every note in my fragrance, I've got some data that backs up that it's going to make you feel better, that it's going to make you more excited, able to better focus. Like right here in Wisconsin, we're entering the winter, and I'll tell you that during the winter, you get the winter blues. And so I'm wanting to make sure that our fragrance has a little bit of pick-me-up and excitement. So what do I recommend? Satish is asking for everyday manly romantic fragrance, brother. An everyday manly romantic fragrance that I've got up here. Well, how about we talk about Steven over at Adolescence, and I talk about some of his fragrances. So, because I think 2 of his fragrances I think would be perfect for that. So Intimus and Virtus are the 2 I would recommend if you haven't. These are everyday, very romantic fragrances. And I would have to say it's probably Virtus that this one is probably in my top 10 fragrances of all time. This one, these 2 right here, I think are cousins. That being said, it's different. But both of these, and I talk about how much I love Carlisle, like these are cousins. This would be in my top 3. This would be in my top 10. And it's just, they're deep. There's something about these things. And I know that Steven was crazy about making sure that they had the right ingredients. So that being said, I would put Virtus as my favorite. Primus would probably be my number 2. I really like what he did with Primus. Absolutio, just because I like cherries and had fun with cherry, a little bit of like caramel on that one. And then Intimus and Navtus. And then the other ones, the oud fragrances he put out they weren't my thing. And even above those, I would put, and then these other ones, I actually say I don't know them well enough to really talk about them too much, but I do have his other fragrances there. I just haven't worn them enough I've worn them once, and I probably didn't take careful enough notes because I don't remember them. One of them did really, I thought was nice. The other two, they were below what I thought these were. All right, so I've got some, also the molecule. Has anyone heard of like molecule 1, molecule 2, molecule 3, molecule 4? If you haven't heard, these are the super ISO fragrances. And the idea here is that they're very difficult to smell and they enhance other fragrances, or that they basically, they bring forward some of your own unique smell. So I'd say for me, I wasn't that impressed with them, but they are what they are. Distinct Loafer saying that his friend bought him his first perfume, Jean-Paul Gaultier, in the Navy. I don't know how I feel about it because I have no reference. How would you describe it? Actually, I don't have that one. So there you go, man. You're gonna have to go and try some other fragrances, and that's the tough thing about this is, you know, it's like, how can you judge if your country is amazing if you haven't been to other countries? And you like, so to be able to really make an evaluation, you can read up on something, but it's also important that you go experience it. And that's the interesting thing about fragrance, is that you have to experience it. I think my friend Max Forti did a really good job with his Scent Explorer, because he actually sent out fragrance samples. So as you were going through the live, watching his video, his presentations live, you could smell the fragrances with them, which was really, really cool. Now, I've got some more weapons that I want to show you guys. I think some of my, again, I don't have everything here, because if you decide to come, you know, trespass on my property, I want to surprise you with my, you know, with my 50 cal machine guns that pop up out of my yard, and, you know, will track your movements and the other things. You know, I don't always just like, you know, take care of everything with a 50 cal. Sometimes, you know, I think it's important just to send a message by, you know, with booby traps and small, you know, things that just maim. But no, seriously. Don't, yeah. See, that's why I can't leave this video up, because I can say things in this video that I normally probably can't say in other videos. How do I choose what perfume to wear when you have so many? Well, Gabriel, at this point, I'd say if I haven't worn it yet, I wear it. And then my next step is, do I remember, like if I'm looking around and I see something that I don't remember what it smells like, I wear it again. And that's kind of my practice right now. That being said, there are some that I gravitate towards, and that's how I know they're in my top 25. And you own a 1911, Ronald, and I was a comm guy in the Corps and transitioned from the M1911 to the Beretta. Yeah. Yeah, that was back in the day, man. The 1911, that's old school. Okay, guys, so I'm going to switch screens, go back over to my main screen, answer some questions there, and then the third part, we're going to talk about my really fun weapons that I got over here. These are the ones I own for fun, and I just take to the range, and or maybe I own more because if the shit hits the fan, these are the ones. Okay, I'm going to get some more coffee too. All right. You guys out there, that's pretty awesome. So thank you for being there. If you're just new to the live stream, make sure to watch this one. Save the link. I will not leave this up on my channel. And remember, we got a sponsor here, Sheath. I want to thank those guys. They got a buy one, get one free. You need to add 2 items to your cart, and then you get one free when you check out. Sheath has been a sponsor for a long time. I am wearing their underwear. Sorry, I'm not going to pull a, a Zoolander Hansen here and take my underwear off and show you. You'll have to take my word for it. But I love friggin' Sheath. It's the modal, which if you're not familiar with modal, it feels like silk, but it's durable. And their underwear is freaking awesome. It's also a veteran-owned business. My friend Robert owns it, and he started it when he got this idea for this one on a deployment. Basically, they've got a package. They got a package for your package. If you haven't seen Sheath underwear, it is life-changing. And the cool part is sometimes I don't feel like putting the boys in the package, and I just wear it like regular underwear, and it works. And like I've said, I've got their stuff. Yep, everything is, use the code, use that link. It's discount/RMRS BOGO. Buy one, get one free. That's right, Clay Hansen.
Yes, I know. I don't have a nose like answer some of you guys' questions. What perfume is my all-time best? Again, that's a hard question because I got so many. I can't answer that one. My perfumes, which are coming out at some point. Antonio, what do you say is your favorite note? That's a better question because I absolutely love tobacco, green tobacco. I love vanilla, green tobacco, vanilla. I do like pear. Hence why I love Dior Higher. It's probably one of my top 10 fragrances, one of my top 3 summer fragrances. I like Creed Aventus. I mean, I like the pineapple, which pineapple technically isn't one of their notes, but people smell it. I do like a little bit of musk. I have to admit, like there's just something about it. I don't, I can't take this down certain paths, but I will say certain smells really just kind of, they get my blood pumping. And that's the beautiful thing about fragrance. I'll tell you a secret, guys. If you're in a relationship and you've been in a relationship for a while with a woman, really like have fun with fragrances and smells. I find that, visually, maybe your woman. Visually, maybe, the relationship you're in, you already know that person really well. But do you know their smells? Do you know? Because you'll find like there's just all these things. Like, do you know how it feels to touch certain areas? And to me, this is like what the beautiful thing of life is: discovering and rediscovering, and not being so shallow that you get tired of somebody or something so quickly, but actually taking the time to understand. Like in a lifetime, you cannot figure yourself out. So how can you have the gall to think you figured somebody else out? And just, kind of, getting into that stuff again. So what else do we have for questions? When you wear a fragrance, are you more interested in I wear it for me nowadays. Tanmay, what you're asking, hey, Antonio, which fragrance is the most compliment getter from you? So it would probably be the one I'm wearing right now, which I just put on earlier, Carlisle. I would also say I've said it 1 million Privé, absolutely great. Creed Aventus, I've gotten compliments on. David De La Luna, Antonio, what would you say is your favorite note? I hit that, Nathan Price. Your next firearm purchasing wish list. What's on that? So I'm currently looking at a Tavor in 5.56. But one of the reasons I'm careful about the Tavor is I'm not a 5.56 guy. And I understand the purpose. I like those weapons, but I'm trying to make a decision between an LWRC or a Tavor in terms, should I go basically down the M16 route, or should I go down? I'm also looking at a 30-06 Tika, or should I go with 308? So that's what I'm trying to make a decision right now. Which round? To me, the weapons are cool, but I really try to build my platform around a particular round that is going to do what I want it to do. So that my thought isn't so much the gun, but it's the round and what is that round capable of. 9 mil and 22 and 12 gauge. That's pretty much the majority of my weapons right there. And those rounds are relatively in abundance. There's also, there's tons of them made, and there's a variety made. So Barisha, thank you. Appreciate, super chat. My friend and I are trying to defy convention. We're striving to be stylish, but in unique ways. We think suits are boring. Some brands we like are Kuples, Sandro, Versace, John Varvatos. In terms of what? Like, so tell me, like, are you talking clothing there? Are you talking with their fragrances? And why do you find suits boring? So you think about it, you find them boring, but many people do not. And suits, if you know their history, which I don't know if you do, the history goes back to, to military uniforms, even farther back before that. It's like, so I would, it's interesting, and I get it that like maybe the general interpretation of the suit's boring, but I would look deeper into what you're looking at. So when are my fragrances coming out? Right now, we're looking at an early March. I know it's getting pushed back. I was hoping to have them, to be honest, beginning of this year, beginning January. But I want to give myself time, and we're really built. If you don't know, we've got an early bird list. Mission Fragrances Maybe we'll put that in the description of the video as well, the link over to Mission Fragrances. But if you type in Mission Fragrances, it should pop up. Mission Fragrances, or just go to my, you'll see we've got it out there. Mission Fragrances early bird list. What about fragrances? Okay, what's the best compliment? Mark G, what is your hunting rifle for big game? So that's what I'm looking at, Mark G. I'm not a big game hunter yet. And for me, it's about practicality. I don't want to go out and just kill anything. I'll tell you, I got a lot of hunters in my town that they hunt, and these people don't make a lot of money, but they know with one license and one bullet, they got enough meat in the freezer for 3 to 4 months for their family. So that's a big return on investment. And they also are very self-sufficient people. So, I'm all about treating animals ethically, but it is something that when you eat high on the food pyramid like that, you're able to sustain yourself with less input versus plants. And we live in a harsh area where 6 months out of the year there's snow on the ground and you can't always grow plants. I don't have a big growing season like you would down maybe in I don't know, Alabama or Texas or something like that. But I'm looking at either going with a 308 or what is it, a 30-06. What is your favorite Versace fragrance? I'll have to think about that. Versace. I've got a few. I was actually thinking, I wore a new Versace the other day, and think about that. Any fragrance you recommend for a rainy day? I think rainy days you need a pickup. So I'd wear something fun, something exciting. Yep. My hunting rifle is the 22. That's everything else. I mean, you could hunt with 9mm, but it's not to me. It's like you wouldn't want to take a deer down. You can, of course, but the thing with it, I think with hunting is that it should be a clean kill, meaning that the animal should not suffer, and that it should be the right type of bullet. We're going 30-06. Those are both great rounds. Some people really like the 6.5, but that you recommend for beginners a 22 JCA, a 22. Would I buy an AR? Yeah, I would. But it's not my top list right now. I think the AR is a great default weapon, Anthony, if that's what you're looking for. I mean, here in the United States, and I'm not like a huge gun proponent. I understand there are many of you guys abroad that, hey, you don't have access and that's not your thing, or you live in a city and you're wondering like, well, why would I need it? The police station's right next to me. In my area, I live rurally, and if someone's breaking into my house, the police are 30 minutes away. So what are you going to do my buddy of mine, he got his shop broken into the other day and he was there, and his face into. Now, I don't know what they were thinking breaking into a shop. It goes over, pulls his machine gun, and basically he waits for them to penetrate his place. It took him like a minute to break through all the glass. He had 2 layers of glass, and he did not kill them. He fired around them. I mean, they were on drugs, but he didn't know how many people are out there. He doesn't know if they're armed. And so you don't know what situation you're going to find yourself in a world in which, let's just face it. I mean, if you don't understand that human beings, whenever society, like they can be very cruel, they can be very, it can be very rough, and they'll take what you have. If society, and we believe we're safe, but that doesn't mean you're safe. I'm all about just a man being self-sufficient. That's my focus. So, all right, let me see. And if you enjoy, that kind of stuff, that's more power to you. For me, I'm very simple, practical. I'm a busy guy. So for me, I'm not looking to like build stuff. And it's definitely an enjoyable hobby. And I think it has the other benefits of protection and self-reliance. So let's look at what else we've got. You guys, thank you so much for sticking around, guys. We've been going now for 2 hours. Pretty crazy, huh? Drinking my coffee. I've still got one whole section I'm going to show you. So stick around. Any other let's see, questions coming in? Anyone new? Just join us. Where are you guys at? Now, coins. We need to do another coin giveaway, right? So let me see. I've got, how do I want to give away a coin? What do you guys think? Has anyone let us know that they're wearing sheath underwear? Because if you're wearing sheath underwear, you own sheath underwear already, or is anyone out there taking advantage of the sheath? Again, we got the sheath deal going. Buy one, get one free. Put 2 in your cart. It will disappear. Guys, this video, by the way, is not going to stay up. I can't let it stay up. And you guys ask me sometimes why. I'll give you a little bit of insight here. Why do I not say negative things about companies? Why don't I put out very critical videos? Can anyone guess why I don't do that? First up, I think there's enough crap and mean stuff out there. And I'm a business owner, and I don't want to hurt another business. I will tell people privately when they send me shit and it's not up to standards, I'll let them know. Sorry, this just isn't something, I don't think it's good quality, and this is why. I've done that many times. But the real reason that I don't put up the negative stuff, the big reason, is because all of a sudden they could sue me. And there have been, even if they have no basis, they can bring lawyers after me, and it's just not worth it. So we purposely decided it's just one. Next up, when it comes to guns and weapons, I don't talk about this stuff on my channel normally because I've got to be sponsor friendly. There are many sponsors out there, and I know some people are like, oh, it's your Second Amendment right. Here's the thing. It's a European company. They don't care what the U.S. Constitution says. They just know that they want to reach customers and that they want a certain type of company that's associated with their brand. And for the 10 years that we have been on YouTube, we've always maintained a very professional type of look. And that's simply the brand that I have here. Who I am as a person is a little bit different. Although you guys see, I think you guys, who you see, but it is something I want to make sure that I keep this company focused in on the brand and the message, what we're going after. What watch did I keep? Good question. The Skyhawk or the other one? Well, I kept the Skyhawk. This is a good question. Legendary and epic. It's over there. I kept the Skyhawk just because it was different. I did like the steel or the titanium, but it was too similar to some of the other watches I had. So I sent that one back and I kept the Skyhawk. Really like that one. Don't always use it. Well, men's lifestyle improvement. If you bought it from the last time, then boom, you're a winner of a coin. Just send me an email. Again, email us through our contact form at Roman Roll Style. And that's what I like about it. Like, even if you don't use the pouch system all the time, it doesn't matter. Like, it's still amazing underwear. Joined from New York City. We've got Eau Claire out there. That's right, just down the road from me. I'm over past Wassa. And let me see. I bought 4 sheath pairs from the last sponsored deal. I got 7 now, and they are true to size and truly. That's right. Freaking sheath is all about it. So Obi Wansta, make sure that you reach out to us because you just won a coin being a supporter of sheath. Guys, I've got some of the new coins that I've been giving away. Really cool. I'm happy to send these out because I know that you guys appreciate it and it's fun. What are my thoughts on the Omega Speedmaster, Nathan Price? I don't have one. So it looks a nice looking watch. I just don't have one. So do you have any plans to visit the Philippines? I would love to visit the Philippines. I have family in the Philippines. Funny story, Jaime. So my grandfather was a merchant marine. I wouldn't say it's necessarily funny, but he was married to my grandmother. It was like one of those relationships when they really, I guess they didn't like each other. But he stayed in the Philippines as a merchant marine, ended up starting a whole nother family. And so apparently I had 3 aunts and uncles that we didn't really know about till my grandfather died, and they showed up at his funeral. Now we've gotten to know them a lot better. But some of my one of my uncles he's still in the Philippines, and I've never met that side of the family. Actually, one of my uncles and one of my aunts, only one of them actually made it back or over to the United States. So well, it's funny how your family, all of a sudden you get related to countries, right? We need to come up to Philadelphia, right? Aaron Marino's from Philly, and so is Terry and a few other guys, my business partners. And we want to, we've talked about doing a meetup there. Now, Caleb, you do know that I own Vitaman, an Australian company, or at least I own, 50% of it. And I will be getting out to Australia. We're going to probably I want to do a meetup there probably in 2021, 2022. We'll see what happens with the whole pandemic. Yeah, I try to do things pretty professional. We'll see. Sometimes I have a little bit. That's why I can be a little bit unprofessional in these videos, right? It's Derek, he doesn't think it looks dressed down when you're wearing the sports jacket. Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. That's right, Minnesota, right next to us. So Minnesota, you guys always bragging about your 10,000 lakes until you find out Wisconsin's got like 20,000, right? They need some style in the Philly. They do. They need a little bit of help. They also need, what's up with all those Eagles fans in Philadelphia? You need to be rooting for the Cowboys, right? Missed a little bit. I was about to ask about buying fragrances when you no sense of smell. However, I didn't smell that. I'd set my stove alight. The fire's out now and all is okay. Ian, yeah, that's tough. I would say keep it really simple. Maybe go, if you don't really have much of a sense of smell, I would just find a signature scent that those around you absolutely love. And then you feel good, like especially like your kids or maybe your wife or your girlfriend. Go with something that if you don't have a sense of smell, and only put on like one spray. Like don't ever overdo it. You don't want to choke people out. And that is just like a little bit of confidence. Because to me, speaking of Philadelphia, so I'm gonna pick on Philadelphia a little bit. Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, you guys won a Super Bowl, finally. But let's go back to the 1989 Philadelphia Eagles. Buddy Ryan, you had and helped the 1985 Chicago Bears win the Super Bowl. He had no offense. I mean, he got Randall Cunningham and he had a good running back, but man, for some reason, their offense couldn't do anything. And they were all defense, no offense. That does not win you playoff games. That's why Buddy Ryan never won a playoff game with Philadelphia. But my point there is with fragrance, I look at it as you play defense because you shower and you put on deodorant, but why don't you play offense? Like put a little bit of fragrance on. And I'm not talking about walking around with a fragrance cloud, but I am talking about smelling good and having a signature scent, right? And Nathan's asking, Antonio, have you considered buying guns to collect military surplus? Yeah, I thought about that, Nathan, but again, I'm more practical and I don't want to end up having to buy storage just for my weapons. Because you got to protect them, and then there's a lot of regulations with guns and stuff, and they can become. It's one of those things you got to pay attention to the regulations. I mean, what was his name? Who was that? Who was that guy that just last day got arrested because he's a felon and he was carrying a Glock or something. He had a gold Glock and he got arrested. I mean, he's probably going to go back to jail for it. I mean, it's stupid stuff like that. It's just like, oh man, like, can you wear a metal watch band with a sports coat and button down? Or do you need, no, you can wear a metal band. I wear dive watches with my suits all the time. Best cologne for a 60-year-old. Well, it depends. Again, the situation. I don't think age, because I mean, John, I'm taking that you follow my advice. You're 60, but you look like you're like 35, and you've got those 35-year-old women hitting on you. So you're in that situation because I know all of our guys. You put it out there, and you're a good-looking dude, and I would wear something fresh and clean and fun. And what that is, you're going to have to go watch some videos, right? But 22 and 9mm are good for first-time shooters. I agree. And Antonio, do you have any advice for doing letter writing for men? I want to write love letters to one of my girlfriend, and I appreciate your thoughts. I would start simple. I mean, why do you have to start texting her? Just start texting her instead of writing. Okay, so we got 300 people watching this. How about at least 10 of you guys? The first this, and again, it's an honor system. I want you to text a woman that means a lot to you right now, and just text her, "Hey, I know it's early. Text her something nice, not creepy." Not weird. Don't send this to some girl you never talked to. But I mean, simply just say, hey, hon, I've been, I know it's early and I send them. Boom, right there. That's all you need to do. And if something were to happen to you, you're in a car accident today, you're dead. But you know what? Last text she got from you, she'll never erase that from her phone. She'll be like, oh, like this was the last thing I was on his mind. So if anyone does that, next few guys that do that, let me know what you sent your woman, what you sent. I don't know. You're in a relationship with a man. I don't care. Like, send it to somebody you love, a text message, a love note, and I want to hear what let me know. Jamie, could you identify like 3 people in the comments? Trying to get your questions answered. Let me see. Trying to get your questions answered. Please don't leave rude comments. Yes, I know. If you leave rude comments, then I will be rude to you, track you down. I won't do that. But sometimes I do feel like I want to track some people down that leave rude comments. Cowboys, what's wrong with you? Broncos are, yeah. Let's go back to Super Bowl. What was it? When was the first time? Remember that first time the Broncos played the Cowboys? Yeah, that was pretty bad. You remember that Super Bowl? What number was that? Do you remember? That was a pretty early one. Beat up. The first time the Broncos were ever going to the Super Bowl. Then they went 4 more times and got beat up 4 more times. But you did. Then John Elway did beat the Green Bay Packers, which was in the May, and then he beat who did he beat? Who else did you guys beat? You had 2 back-to-backs. The second one wasn't as big as the first one. When John Elway had that like helicopter flip, I knew they were going to win. I was watching that one, and when he did that, I was like, "Go Denver!" I was all about, because Green Bay just won the year before. I didn't like Brett Favre, and everyone, I was like, "Yes, Denver's finally going to get it." I would, but she's married. Boom! Look at that. Just texted the wife, Delano. Appreciate that, man. So I'll get you a coin. All right. Love it. Told her good morning and that I loved her. Look at that right there. That's a love letter. A love letter does not, I've been writing letters to people, and I agree, that's a big impact. Write a handwritten letter to somebody, but immediately, what can you do right now? The small win. That's what I want to see. I just called to say I love you. Lionel Richie? No, is that Lionel Richie? Yeah. Hello from Greece. I'm a teenager. Can you suggest me a sexy summer fragrance? Well, let's do that. I'm going to go over and I'm going to it's not going to be around forever. Take advantage of it. Let me get some more coffee, and I'm going to go do the part 3 because we are 2 hours and 10 minutes in, and it's getting late over in the Philippines. Any Australians out there? Anybody over in Ukraine? Anyone over in Russia? Kaktila? Kaktila? Anybody out there speak some Russian? Belarusians? Have we got any Belarusians out there? Moldovans? Friends over in India. What about Pakistan? That's right. Recognize you guys over in Pakistan. Bangladesh? Anyone? Am I the only one seeing the lag? Probably. Let me see before we get. All right. Let me go over and I'll jump over to the other. What's up, boys? All right. I'm going to move this over. So this is the setup I initially had, but that camera is not that great. So I am just going to, in fact, I'm going to exit out of this one. Maybe this is causing a bit of the lag. I don't think it was, but I'm going to set this one up over here. So I got some fun weapons here, along with some fun fragrances. And if anyone's wondering, this is not my full collection. Like I said, I keep some weapons in reserve so that if you decide to surprise me at my house, I will surprise you with something you've never seen. And
Okay. So you guys have seen this setup before. I've shot many videos here. Got my book collection over here. Not going to get into all these books. These are non-style books. I know a lot of you guys wonder, if you're a business owner, highly recommend Entrepreneur's Guide to Personal Finance. Another great book that's non-style, The Road Less Stupid. Friggin' phenomenal book. Boom, right there. Highly recommended. I've talked about this one before. Atomic Habits. Great book. Another great read. Switch by Chip and Dan Heath. Amazing. So if you're looking to become an expert in your, check out this one, Known by Mark Schaefer. I'm actually in this book, so it's pretty cool. I like when I'm in a book. Why not? You know? There's another one, Deep Work. I don't think I have it here. Maybe it's at the house. Deep Work by Cal Newport. I'm in that book too. So that's kind of cool when you like, that's one of the, for me, one of the coolest things about creating content and trying to be useful to the world is you find other creators take notice, and sometimes they document your exploits, and you end up in their literature or their books, and that is pretty darn cool. Some of you guys know me from the Art of Manliness as well. You know, Brett is a great friend. I've got his books as well, and to know that like I helped inspire some of the content that's in his books, that is pretty darn cool. Got to be careful. Don't want to knock over my pictures. All this artwork, by the way, these are not originals. These are prints. My friend Samara Shooter over, if you never checked out her stuff, amazing artwork. I brought her out to my Menfluential conference, and Samara's just amazing artist. I'm really proud to know. So you want a line of fragrances that are affordable and have a wide range and are good quality. So I got to give a hat tip to my friend Chad over to Gentleman's Journey. He turned me on to the Ferrari line. Really nice. So I like them because they're named. If you like neroli, grab Bright Neroli. Boom, right there. If you want, you know, we've got vetiver essence. Now, is it going to be all vetiver? No, but that's going to be the dominant note for most of these. Essence musk, right there. Boom. You know, if you're into musk, it's got radiant bergamot lemon. You want something citrusy, that's going to be your go-to fragrance. Pure lavender, if you like lavender, you know, again. So, and Ferrari, they did a good job of this. The bottle's nice. Everything. Noble fig, this one's really unique. Not fig is a note that a lot of people don't even know about, so you want something unique, check out that Noble fig. And Umo, this is their one. I thought this is a great one to start with. And they've got a few others out there, which I do not have. But if you're looking for a line, again, that's relatively affordable. And some people I know, you want to just buy a few fragrances from the same company. That way you know you're not getting like overlap. Talked about these as well. This is the Hane Mori. Very inexpensive, 50 mil, but a really unique Japanese line. Now, Lalique, you guys have heard about Lalique. And Jamie, can we add some questions or comments in there? Jamie or Jane, if you guys can do that. Oh, look at that. Bilal, Lucas, can we get a tour of the studio? I can do that at the end. I'll walk you guys through, show you guys a little bit of the studio. So another house that's very affordable, and they put out a new, basically, fragrance every single year is going to be Issey Miyake, another Japanese one. I really like these guys. So right here, this is their Wooden Wood, which a lot of people complain isn't super strong, but I love it. That Wooden Wood is one of my favorites. The Sport, so this Issey Miyake Sport, again, these are very affordable, 20, 30 bucks on discounters, and you get 100 mil. The bottle is really cool looking too. Really, it's a larger bottle, kind of like a sail or something. That one right there got a little bit of coconut in it. So this one right here, this is going to be their EDT in the Nuit Disse, Issey Miyake's Nuit Disse. Building habits. No other books that you like more about living a great life, building habits. All right, so good question about the books. Let me see. Living a great life, building habits. Let me see. Living a great life, building habits. I'm looking for specific. I've got ones over here. Wealthy Gardener, highly, highly recommend. I've read this book 3 times this year. It's that good. And I bought 100 copies, and I shipped. I've been shipping these to my friends. And in fact, is there anybody that I'm trying to think? How can we give? I've got a couple I'll send your way. Exactly. Deep work was friggin' awesome. Let me think about how I'm going to think really quick how I can choose a winner. I've got a few of these I could probably send out. Let me think about that. How to Get Rich, Common Sense, the Laws of Style, Man is the Measure. So Human and Animal, Michael Lewis, the.com, How I Raised Myself. Entrepreneurial You. Yeah, sorry guys, I'm looking for some books over here because I'm trying to answer. I've got a lot of good ones, and I know that you're looking. I brought up The Habit, The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. Talked about this one before. Again, habits and changing them. That right there, it's small but very, very important. I just don't want to grab. I will teach if you want to improve your money situation. All right. I Will Teach You to Be Rich is still a classic. I think he's got a new one out there. I love how he just has you automate like the big wins. So very good. This one is really unique. If you're into rap and you want some really interesting information, 50 Cent kills it. This dude's a genius with Brian Greene. This is one of the most unique books you'll ever read. And it really gets down to human nature. And loved this one. A great audio listen to. If you don't have Audible, highly recommend it. Okay. All right. So back to fragrances. So I was going through Issey Miyake's line. Hugo by Hugo Boss. This one, is this a 200 ml? This is a big one. Yeah, this is 200 ml. Great, solid fragrance. One of my favorites. This is easily in my top 15. And this is going to be Bond number 9, The Scent of Peace. Amazing fragrance. Everyone try this? Some people say it's similar to Aventus. I don't think so, but if you like Aventus, you're going to love this. Giovanni Musk. Incredibly cheap. A good fragrance. No one wears this stuff, and it's good. You've probably seen other YouTubers talk about this one. I agree. If you like a little bit of pepper, but you want something clean, something light, a good office fragrance, F by Ferragamo Black. Boom. This one, solid. The guy that made this, he actually went over and he's now the perfumer for Chanel. So you get a Chanel fragrance basically at a very discounted price. If you want a clean office fragrance, this one doesn't get a lot of love. I think it's a solid fragrance though. They misnamed it. It shouldn't have been called King. It should have been called Safe Fragrance for the Office. Paco Rabanne's 1 million. I've talked about this. It's a solid fragrance, but I prefer, and I've already brought this one up like 4 times in this video today. Paco Rabanne 1 million Privé, easily one of my best, probably one of my top 10 fragrances. If you can't find Paco Rabanne 1 million Privé, but you still want a really good one and sweet, check out Wanted by Night. Wanted is good, but Wanted by Night is better. Another one that's probably, if you want a nice winter fragrance that is just going to get you compliments like no other. Let's say, you're a younger guy, older guy, doesn't matter. Stronger With You. I hate the name. And I think somebody was asking me some of my favorite Armani fragrances. This would be in the top 2 of my favorite Armani fragrances. And this is definitely a top 25 fragrance. Again, I didn't really like the name, but I can't disagree with this is an amazing fragrance. Lalique. A lot of people are really into this, and this is the Encre Noir, like Stream, and this is just the regular Encre Noir. There's a woman YouTuber out there. She talks about fragrances. I can't remember her name. She's Polish. She's German, and gosh, I'm having trouble. Amazing, amazing reviewer. I think she described this best. It's like it's a unique scent. It's like if you can imagine cooked peas. I know who wants to smell like cooked peas. Well, if you own 10 fragrances, 20 fragrances, you want something unique that you don't have anything like, check it out. It's relatively inexpensive, and who knows, you may end up liking it. And how it smells on your skin is different. It's not going to make you smell like cooked peas, but a lot of people swear by it. Me, not my cup of tea. I talked about these guys, Ed Hardy. The fun thing with Ed Hardy is all the unique styles. I mean, I think they're fun. They do not last a really long time. That being said, and I've got a few other Ed Hardys over there. I think that they're fun. They're very crowd pleasing. They're nice fragrances. And if you want something that just you like the Ed Hardy style, why not go for it? Visually, they're pleasing. I'd say the one to start with is Love and Luck. Love is a gamble. Love and Luck. This one's a great one to start with. All right. Another fragrance brand that nobody talks about, Trussardi. I really like the red. I brought this one up with a video I did with Jeremy the other day. It's, to me, just a beautiful fragrance. It's perfect for winter, and they're relatively inexpensive. Let's see. Speaking of inexpensive, Nautica. And I have another Nautica. I guess not here. Other Nautica's over there. This is Nautica. Which one is this? This is the ET. This is the blue. But Nautica Voyage is another one, which I don't see right here. That's another great one. If you have a little bit more money to spend, Manna Fresh. This is classic, perfect for the summer, hot weather. You cannot go wrong with Manna Fresh. Now, you're going to see Jimmy Man Choo. Like Jimmy Man, this is a women's shoe line. I think that they've got decent fragrances, although there are certain ones I will not recommend. So, Jamie, can we pull up any more comments, and we can leave them up there? Antonio, sir, are you a morning person or night? I am. I like to sleep, so I'm not going to say I feel good in the morning, and I want to feel good because I want to own my morning. Just my thoughts. So, Jimmy Man Choo Blue, I do not recommend. I really didn't like it. It was not my thing. That being said, Jimmy Man Choo Ice was decent, not blowing me away. Jimmy Man Intense, I love, and Jimmy Choo Man, good. I would say so. If you're going to if you're around them, try the Intense or the Man. If you like the Man, you're going to love the Intense. It's just the same thing. It's stronger. So they actually did really well with this. It's just stronger, heavier, and I like the Man Intense. And it's great because you can find it in a lot of places out there, relatively affordable. Invictus, Paco Rabanne, comes out with all these like gimmicky bottles, but really they're fun. And I've got the Intent. This is the Intense. And then this right here is the Aqua. Aqua, I think, is discontinued. I don't think it's worth paying a premium for it, but it is a fun fragrance if you can find it. Burberry Touch. I've talked about this as a workhorse fragrance. You're not going to go wrong with Burberry Touch. If you want something that can do everything, you're in your 40s and you don't want to think about fragrance and you want something that you can find something that's going to be good. At the same time, not everyone's wearing it. Burberry Touch, in my opinion. Givenchy's Pie. I need to wear this again because I admit, when I wore it the first time, it was not my cup of tea. I really it didn't do that much for me. But a lot of people praise it. I can't jump on board with it. Another cheap fragrance that is actually really nice, but it doesn't last super long, is going to be, what is this? It's Cuba. It's shaped like a cigar. I can't even remember. Is it? You can buy them at discounters. They come shaped like literally cigars. Does anyone remember the name of this? This is Cuba Original by Parfums de Champs. So it feels cheap. I'll admit that. But the juice is solid. And yeah, I'm not even going to say what this thing looks like. But yes, you give that as a gift, or you get that as a gift. You may be wondering, what's that person? What are they thinking there? Let's have a little bit of fun. Let's talk about some guns, right? Does anyone know what this is? This is the M4 Benelli. And this is the first time I got my hands on this was in early 2003. And we were going into the combat zone, and I thought this thing was beautiful. I didn't get to take one of these, but my roommate was he was the S4. So he was in charge. Basically, the S4 is the guy that, they got all the trucks, all the vehicles. And the other roommate was our supply guy. So we basically, and the S4 basically also manages the armory. So they got the pick, and they were like, to use one. And they are great for taking down doors, clearing out rooms. I love it because it's a Benelli. So this thing can take any type of round. I primarily at this point fire slugs because I've only really shot this at the range. I do have some buckshot. And if you're not familiar with the difference between birdshot, buckshot, and slugs, and I know there's many other variations of rounds, but those three are either going to be a slug, as it sounds, is one big round. It's a big bullet that goes out. Literally, okay, this is clear, and I'm sorry, I'm not, but look at the size of that barrel. You get hit by a slug on this thing, it's going to blow you in half, basically. This is I mean, practicality-wise, this for me is like a shit hits the fan type of gun, and I could hunt with it. I wouldn't recommend it because it's heavy, and the barrel isn't really long enough to, I think, get super accurate, but it could get the job done, especially in my area where we have deer all over the place. Now, buckshot is going to fire usually about eight small balls, and those balls are about the size of 9mm rounds. So it's basically like 8 9mm rounds going out, and this gives you a little bit of, like, you can sort of miss the target, but it doesn't matter because as long as you're close, you're going to get them with one of those. And then birdshot is going to fire a lot of small BBs, and that's really good because you don't want to destroy the animal, but from a distance, you'll be able to take down a flying bird. We have lots of turkeys in my area, and so if my family needed meat, this thing could provide. Not going to be super comfortable, not going to be optimal, but in a shit hits the fan situation, I love shotguns. And I'm looking right now for a Wingmaster. I do want to get a proper hunting classic Wingmaster but yeah, we'll see. But the Benelli shotgun, amazing. Absolutely love this thing. And what other books do I have here? Another copy of Handmade Books for Men. So what else do we have? The Encyclopedia of Menswear. Got that one. The biggest black book ever. Actually, I do like Esquire's big black books. If you haven't checked these out, I think they're solid. Another Esquire. I buy a lot of all these books they put out there. They're relatively simple, and I do find if I can pick up one or two tips, they're modern, so they will go out of style, or they'll go out of not out of fashion. I would say they're dated because a lot of the tips that they give you, this is only going to be good for maybe five years. That being said, because I own, like I said, almost every copy of Gentleman ever put out, I know what the classic style is, so I'm not too worried about not picking up stuff. Now, The Parisian Gentleman by Hugo Jacomet, my good friend of mine. Him and Sonia took me to dinner when I was in Paris. Got to spend some time with them. She's from Atlanta. Highly recommend you grab these books. Just amazing. I mean, he did just a great job with these. And if you're into higher end style, you're into Italian style, I think Hugo, he's got an amazing story. He's got a great YouTube channel if you haven't checked it out. Yeah, you want to get over there and yeah. And by the way, okay, so if you're interested, because I've got some extra copies of that Wealthy Gardener, I am willing to send somebody, probably 1 to 2 of you guys, if you're willing to send me a detailed email, and you got to use my contact form at Real Men Real Style, how you, in the last year, have been taking steps to rebuild yourself financially, I will send you a book. Now, I'm only going to be able to send a couple of them out, but I do have at least, I'll send 3, up to 3 out. But guys, I want to hear from you. The more detailed and the better your email is, the more likely you are to win. And this needs to be hopefully in the next few days, or preferably today, because if you get it to me today, you're get to me in a week. This video, actually, I don't know how you do that because this video is not going to be up. I'm going to take it down. But yeah, if you really want it, and that book is amazing, I'll tell you, it's $20 on Amazon. I'll send it to you because I believe in you, and I want to see more men become the man they know themselves to be. I keep saying that, but that's why I have coins made, so I can remember. The Watch by Gene Stone. And by the way, I have another gun that I'm going to be showing you guys. It's over here hidden. It's actually one of my more fun guns. And okay, so The Elegant Man, great book. This one a little bit hard to find. Highly recommended. One of the top 5 books I've got probably out there. Dandelion. This one really cool. If you I've got a couple books. Just nice little bookmark from one of my daughters. Right in there. Yeah, really cool. If you want to learn how to use color, if you are a man of color, African American descent, so many ideas here, and it really talks about the history and bringing stuff in like this. Absolutely beautiful book. Men of Style, another Josh Sims book. I love how he uses musicians and people from Hollywood, and he brings in just interesting people. Another copy of Dressing the Man. I've got at least 2 of these. Dressing the Man You Love. Solid book. If you've got a woman in your life that wants you to dress better, this is probably the book that she's found and is using. All right. So a lot of these are like tailoring books and shirt making books and textile books. And I try to get into this stuff because when I talk to you guys about specific textiles and things, I really am constantly learning. So I'm going through and reading this stuff and really trying to make sure I've got the right information. I also, again, do own a number of women's books. And I own these because the women's side oftentimes reveals things that the men's side doesn't even think of, and yet it's applicable to us. So what other? Ralph Lauren in his own words. That is a good one. Ralph Lauren in his own words. It's more of like, if you already own 20 of these books, grab that one. The same thing, isn't it like Italian tailoring? It's very specific, but it's great for what it is. All right, some more fragrances, right? You guys, and I'll answer some more questions and give you guys an office tour here in a minute. Gucci Guilty, or really good. This would probably be the other Gucci that would be my top 2. I wish it was a little bit stronger, but I'll just spray more on. It's amazing. You want a classic fragrance? Eau Sauvage Extreme. This one right here, this one's amazing. Easily top 25 of the fragrances I have. I don't really like the original one as much as I love this one. Going through one, classic. Even though this was huge back in the 90s, I still think you could pull it off today if you like clean, and it's relatively inexpensive as well. What was that? Polo Red. Talked about this one. Now, you guys keep bringing up Terre d'Hermes. You better believe I got some Terre d'Hermes. I have the perfume as well. I don't know where it's at. So the perfume, I have the vetiver, but the original is really, really good. The perfume is even better. And I think, maybe did I take the perfume home? I've got about probably 40 fragrances at my house that I'm testing and wearing right now. Mont Blanc Explorer. I haven't talked too much about Mont Blanc. I've got a lot of them, like Skywalker, Explorer. They're good. Mont Blanc, if you can imagine, they make a lot of clones, in my opinion. It's similar to some other stuff out there. Are there any YouTube channels that you watch that are not men's clothing? Yes, I watch a lot that are not men's clothing. So, it depends. I've got probably 400 channels I subscribe to. I'm always learning about YouTube. Obviously, I've got fragrance channels I follow. I have, I've got tons of gun channels that I follow. From Warrior Poet to Garrett Thumb to Colin Noir. I can never pronounce his name perfectly. And let me see. I also follow a lot of funny channels. So CKB, decent, But I'd say if you want a cheap winter fragrance, somebody brought this up earlier, CK Shock. Remeet Safeties, I Will Teach You to Be Rich, taught me a lot. Great book. I agree, David. It is a solid book. All right. British Sterling. Does anyone out there have British Sterling? This one here, classic. Koros. This will put hair on your chest. Yes, this one right here, a manly fragrance. Koros. Hey, Jamie, are there any other questions out there? Jane, anything else I can answer? Strange question, but what's the most scary fragrance to smell? The most scary fragrance to smell is the one probably you spend a lot of money on and you blind buy it and you don't know what you're getting. So let me see, the most expensive mistake I have made, I'm looking kind of looking around right now. It's probably going to be, yeah, let me, so this right here was probably one of the more expensive mistakes I made. It was hyped up. Everyone said, Kaylin this, Kaylin that. And I got it. And I've worn it twice and 3 times probably. And I just cannot pull this thing off. It's just, yeah, a big disappointment. So to me, that's the scariest fragrance. Plus, I guess with it being blood red, that kind of makes sense that it is one of the scarier fragrances out there. Gray Flannel, classic, Cano. Cano, Gray Flannel. What I like about these ones, you get a lot of fragrance. What is that? That's solid 200 right there. And I mean, it's under 20 bucks. So smell good for a year with that stuff. Versace's The Dreamer. A lot of people talk about this one. I never got into it. Too powdery for me. Just not my cup of tea. Anybody remember this? Swiss Army Classic, EDT, Victorinox. This one was a big one back in the 90s. Talk about Umo by EZ. And Merlindo, I can't pronounce it. I just go Zegna, by Zegna, Umo. It's too early. I can't pronounce everything. This one, Paco Rabanne's pour Homme, really classic, not talked about, solid. What was your most? Antonio, what was your MOS? I was an 0180. Started off as a naval aviator, but then became a battalion's adjutant and served with 3rd Battalion, 1st Marines. Okay, so let's have a little bit of fun. You guys ready for this right here is one of my more fun guns. So check this thing out. This right here is the SIG MPX. And this is the 4-inch barrel. I absolutely love this. So this right here is basically a compact sub. You could argue it's a submachine gun, but it's semi-auto. I mean, every time it doesn't fire just by holding the trigger. It uses 9mm round ammo. Now the magazines are expensive, but they hold 30 rounds and they're really, really smooth. I've got, again, cheaper magazines, and I use Glock mags with, that will hold 32 rounds on my my M9 or my PC carbine. But this thing I have never had an issue with, and I've probably gone through a couple thousand rounds on this thing, and I absolutely love it. It's got a brace, so it's basically an arm brace, which there's certain laws that make that a good thing here in the United States. I didn't have to wait for it. I've got a silencer for it, so I can put a can on the end of it. This thing is just fun. It's dependable, good. I mean, it's just, and I've got my little Leopold scope on this thing, so my red dot, so I can go through. It's nice. It's a lot of fun. I also like they got a nice charging handle on it right there, and yeah, it's built. It's 9mm. I know some of you guys are going to say, Antonio, why didn't you go for 5.56 or anything like that? I wanted, when I bought this thing, almost all my platforms are 9mm. So I'm like, for me, I buy the weapon based off of the bullets I have and that I have plenty of. I want to keep things really simple. Will I get into 5.56? I say yes. But right now, I'm enjoying taking all of my weapons to the range. This is not all my weapons. I've got some at the house, obviously security and stuff like that. But But no, I think the best thing you can do if you own any weapon is you're safe with it. You know the basic rules. You see so many yahoos out there that don't know the basic rules of a weapon. You never point at something you do not intend to shoot and kill. You do not, you always keep your finger off the trigger. You treat every gun as if it were loaded. I mean, these are basic things, and you know how to use the weapons that you own. Yeah, these are things that are pretty important. And I think, yeah, with anything, you don't want to just buy it to just have it sit there. But the reason I would own a weapon like this is, again, this is more for fun. And worst case, if the shit hit the fan, it's very accurate for a 4-inch barrel. I have no problem with 1.5, 2-inch groups at 25 yards with this thing consistently. And that's a 9 mil round. And so I haven't fired it out to 100, so I don't know what I would hit there. But I do know that, I'm very happy with this, and yeah, gets the job done, right? All right, so let's jump over. I'm going to jump over to the main area, and yeah, go ahead and keep asking questions. I'll try to answer. My advice on overcoming anxiety brought on by suddenly becoming the best dressed person in the family. Any advice? I would say just, hey, you're preparing for where you want to go, and don't be afraid to lead, from the front. All right. Hey, boys, I'm back. And so let's go ahead and I'll do a quick tour of the office here in a few minutes. I know some of you guys have seen it before, some of you guys haven't. I want to answer some of your questions, though. So, Antonio, what's your comment on perfume that smells like Dollar Cash Note? It's that perfume called Money. Yeah, he's got one, Old Money. I don't have the Money fragrance. I do have Old Money by Beard Brand. I think it's good. Jonathan Alonso, Antonio, any advice on coming anxiety? Already answered that one. Ralph, how do you store your fragrances to keep it in good? I keep them relatively dark area, so it is something that right here I've got them on a table, but usually I've got a storage container which I'll show you, and I keep them in there and I keep them kind of classified. I just bought another storage container. Yeah, Hickok. I believe Hickok 45 is a great gun channel, and your deodorant is. Let me see. Acquadigio and L'Homme product. Can you talk about them? I already did earlier in the video, and both of them are solid fragrances. So, Witch King. How is it possible to have a fragrance collection although most fragrances expire after 3 years? That's not true. So they have found fragrances in Egyptian tones that are strong. The key is that's a general guide. It's something that most people store their fragrance in the bathroom or near light. And so in that case, it's not going to last very long. But if you keep them in a cool, dry place and avoid light, there are many fragrances. I mean, you find people that find unopened fragrances that are 30, 40 years old and smell amazing still. So they can, but they do, if you expose, light's the big thing you got to be careful of. What? Yeah, he is an absolute legend. What's more of an outside fragrance you wear outside in crowds? I don't really think to wear a fragrance for that exact purpose, but I do like wearing something a little bit stronger, something warm. Again, for me, this time of the year, warmer fragrances that sit closer to the body. What's a fragrance that I would avoid at all costs? I haven't found one yet. I mean, I say Jupe because just kind of beat up on that one because it's just not my cup of tea, but I know a lot of people like it. Yeah. What's a good night out in town fragrance? I'd say Wanted by Night. That immediately popped in my head. That one, I think it's designer, it's common, it's affordable, but it doesn't scream like, hey, I'm really, I'm. It's not an Ambroxan bomb like what is it, Sauvage. Although I think Sauvage, I was talking to my friend Steve Ramsey over at Woodworking for Mere Mortals. He wears Sauvage, and this is a guy in his 50s. He loves Sauvage.
Am I back? Sorry about that, guys. One movie that touched you the most and why? Abel Paul, you asked this question. So this would have to be, I would go with Forrest Gump. That was I was 18 at the time when I watched the movie, and it just had a deep effect on me. I don't know why. I mean, it's a nice, wholesome movie, but yeah, I'll go with, yeah, Forrest Gump on that. One of my favorites from the John Varvatos line. I've tried a lot of them. Um, I haven't tried. I want to try more of the John Varvatos. What is it? What are the brothers? The Jonas Brothers. I haven't tried his stuff yet, but I like the oud. Are there any designer fragrances in your top 10 fragrances? Yes, a lot of designer fragrances, John. I don't think, to me, it's a fragrance. I'm not like breaking up designer versus niche, and I'm not smart enough, and I don't have a great enough nose to really always pick up the difference. To me, does it smell good? Do I like it? I try to pick out the notes. Um, but yeah, I've got a lot of, in fact, all right. So your favorites. Let me give you guys a quick tour of the studio. You guys have been asking for that, and I'm going to go ahead and grab that really quick. So should I here? Let me see. I'm going to get this. All right, here we go. Right. Okay. So here is that third studio you just saw. Studio number 2. And here is that where we started everything right there. Now, you're going to see I've got some of the stuff you'll recognize. Got some watches, some hats, a lot of shoes. So you guys have been asking about my shoe collection. That's most of them. I don't have, I think only 100 something pairs. I know. Okay. So right here, we've got some of my shirts. I keep this more for looks when I want to grab something. Quite a few of my sweaters. And I admit that I do keep sweaters on hangers just because it's easy to grab. I do rotate through these. But I use wide angle hangers. So I use suit hangers to hang some of my sweaters. I find that it does not stretch them. And again, for me, it's having quick access. My sports jackets, I got about 40 sports jackets here. I take that back. I've got about 32 sports jackets and 8 suits that I have. And I've got additional probably 10 suits in the back. Here's a quick peek at a line of jackets, suede jackets. So I'm working with a partner, and we're looking to put out a line of suede jackets. So this is, yes, coming here soon. And so we'll see where that goes. Here, so you asked where I store my fragrances. So I've got these containers right here, and I can break up the fragrances into different houses and stuff like that. And then I keep it over here in a corner, which I'll show you here in a second. All right, so you guys have seen this back here. This is my white backdrop. Usually I have lights right here, and then I've got some lights over there, and then I've got lights right there. Now, my camera, I'll use a camcorder. Got that thing set up right there, which, again, everything's out of the way because I'm not filming today. And I've got just products lying around. I've got more stuff here. See, these are empty because I got all my Vitamin products right there. And then I've got more product samples, electronics, backup cameras, things like that. Then I have over here, this room is not well lit. It is going to be a straight storage room. So, tons of leather bags. Yep. And you guys know I do a lot of work with leather bag companies. And if there are any questions, Jane or Jamie, you can throw them down there. So I'll try to answer them as best I can. So got some polos here, quite a few trousers, my Anson belts, sheath underwear, got some vests, more trousers, hats, more polos, got a random suit here. You have Prada Carbon and Polo Blue. What do you recommend for my next one? Prada Carbon, Polo Blue. It sounds like you need something.
it sounds like something that you need something sweet or something fresh. So maybe you look at the part of carbon. Yeah, I'd look for a fresh or for a sweet fragrance. What do you what do you do? I need to improve that. Will, to be honest, I'd say the last 8 months I've not done a great job of staying in shape and staying super healthy. I've just been so busy with with everything going on in the world, and feeling I need to make some changes and adjustments in my company. That's an area that I need to improve. So that's why I've been trying to be careful about posting about that stuff too much, because I don't want to feel like a hypocrite writing about things that I'm not doing always well myself. More shirts. I mean, the shirts go on, and jackets. And I've got 2 layers, as you can see. So it goes, I mean, there's a lot of shirts, more bags, and this is just like deep storage. So a lot of things, extra electronics and things here that I don't always get into. I also have got like back there a couple saws and things, which I occasionally use. Carlos, AM, I would read books on, I would read, I mean, because you're not going to have time when your kids are born, it's much harder. But I mean, the more you can do now to find ways to set boundaries, and to make time to learn about how to be a good dad. Because a lot of people say, oh, that's like a natural thing. No, it's not. Like, and if you've got tons of great information out there and books that people have written how to be a better dad, what does it hurt you to read this stuff? You may disagree with them and the way that they raise their kids, but if you can learn something, that's a great thing. I don't see any problem with that. So I would read books on how to be a better dad, even if you only agree with 25% of it. Still, you're going to learn something, and set boundaries now, because your work will always try to consume your time, and you're going to have to make time to support your partner. Have you done any firearm training classes since the Marine Corps? Yeah, I take private courses. Oftentimes, I'll hire someone to help me and my son with better stance, because I mean, I think I'm decent, but I still want to get an outside opinion. So I've hired people. By the way, that's kind of like a place I avoid showing back there. Just leftover lights and pictures and books I haven't even opened up. All right, guys. So that's I mean, got my little light stack right there that was kind of lighting everything up. So hopefully that helps. I will. Yeah, so you can see everything back behind me. Let's go try to answer a few more questions. Let's go. So I appreciate, and don't forget, guys, take advantage of that sheath underwear deal. I'm going to take this down. This is only good for the time I've got this video up. So it's probably, we'll keep the video up for a few more hours, and then it's going to disappear. What's in my coffee? A little bit of maple syrup, and creamer. That's about it. A little bit of maple syrup, 1 spoon of maple syrup with creamer. So we're in Wisconsin. We have, a lot of maple trees around here where we get the maple syrup. And yeah, so let's see. Antonio, I'm starting to become a doctor in the hospital. I can only wear white pants and doctor's coat, size nice shoes. It just makes sure your clothing fits. I mean, you've got a uniform, so you got to stick with it. Do you have any spice bomb alternatives? Spice bomb alternatives. I haven't seen too many. That's a good question, Drew. Right off the top of my head, I don't know of any. John Glenn, are there any designer fragrances in your top 10? Yes, many. Gabriel, what do you recommend as a fragrance for a business meeting? Keep it simple. Don't offend. It should be something that sits close to the body. So clean, just non. So yeah, you don't want to choke anyone out. That's not the time when you're in a set room with somebody. But if you're in a business meeting and it's just you, then yeah, I would. I mean, if it's your house, I would still wear a fragrance because you want to feel good about yourself. All right. What else? Did I miss anything? Trying to go through. You are welcome. Always pleasure to see you, SJ. Seth, but the apartment smells of rich mahogany. I didn't hear the lag. Newski's Bacon. Do you eat it? And what is? Yes. So Newski's Bacon, and they're local right here. I mean, Bob Newski lived. He was my neighbor before he passed away about 2 years ago. Now his daughter Tanya runs the place. So Newski Bacon makes some of the best bacon in the world. I like their nitrate-free. We get their nitrate-free bacon. It's really simple, really clean. My wife's about clean eating, and thank goodness she handles that stuff, because my son is like a chef, and my wife cooks, and it's really cool. Like when you've got the family, that's why I love having a good family unit, because I make money. My son cooks, cleans, organizes, helps his mom out, and he does his thing with school. My wife teaches the kids. We homeschool, and my daughter, she's like a amazing baker. She loves making desserts and stuff. And my other two daughters, well, they're in training. So yeah, what music am I into? I love sappy 80 songs. So, but I also like the newer stuff. Like, what's his name? The guy that was wearing a dress that everyone was giving shit, Harry Styles. Like, I like his stuff. So whatever. I don't care if he wears a dress. Like, to me, what you wear, like men wear kilts and whatever. Do whatever you want. Like, I mean, and he's a musician. He's about getting attention. How much do you feel the military helped you in prepping for your success? Jared, it was a good step, but I don't think you need to join the military to be prepared for. I mean, it's something that you learn a lot and you surround yourself with some pretty cool people. But it was a good step, and it was good for me at that time. All right, guys. So what do I prefer for daily use? Fragrance, deo, or perfume? Well, usually I don't wear an antiperspirant. I will wear, so we've got our Vitamin products, our Vitamin deodorant, which is natural and doesn't like clog up your pores. But I usually, I'm testing on a different fragrance every day. So to be honest, a lot of times I'm not even wearing any deodorant because I shower so much at this point because I'm always testing out new fragrances. All right, guys, you take care of yourself. It was a pleasure seeing you today. And if you want a coin, please reach out to us via our contact form. Like I said, if you want to get a book, I've got a couple of The Wealthy Gardeners I'd love to send out. All you have to do is send me a message via my contact form telling me how the last year you have been rebuilding your finances and putting yourself into a better spot financially. Because that book will really help you take that to the next level. And gentlemen, I appreciate you making time for me. Take care of yourself. And that's it. Take care. See ya. Wait a minute. There's like two of me. My God, you get to see both sides. I'm trying to remove this.